Welcome, everyone. I am excited to open the third climate supper of the Future Food Institute, which we organize during the Food and Climate Shaper Digital Bootcamp. This is the third edition now. This is a joint project with the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. And what you will follow with us along the way is a global journey where you will dial into different tables of our participants who facilitated different dining experiences with their local communities, friends, and families. And they are running conscious conversations around sustainable food systems and climate change, or how we can actually fight climate change. So I will be with you along the way, and also my team member, Kian. We will have a bit of a break after 3 p.m. Central European time. We also need to, get some water and take some breath. But then we will restart at 7:30 Central European time in the evening and continue with the other countries and other participants. We will have local hosts with us along the way. Those local hosts are past attendees of the bootcamp, so alumni of the Future Food Network, and also different partners of the Institute. So now I would like to hand over to our founder and the president of Future Food Institute to have some words.
Thank you so much, Julia. It's super exciting to be with you today. I just actually ended an ocean cleanup this morning. I'm in Polica, that is one of the cities that is going to host our Food and Climate Shapers Bootcamp. I'm wearing our Climate Shapers t-shirt, and I want to celebrate with you this marathon around the world. I'm taking the flame from you, and now I want to introduce our host, the first host of this marathon. Today, we're going to jump in the kitchens of all our fellows, and it's pretty exciting for us, this global convivium, global climate supper, because it really helps us to understand the power of food. We all are convening around the table, sharing interesting thoughts. And every time we gather around the table, we have to remember that we are honoring our past, experiencing the present, celebrating the present with the people we love, but also preparing for the future. And so we go to face the future with our friends and colleagues in Japan from Tokyo. And I want to say hi to Chris. He was with us here in Polica and Acciaroli in September. So we really would love to send and hand over the flame to Chris and our friends in Japan. Ciao.
Okay. Thank you very much, Sarah, Julia, team. Can you hear us okay? Okay, cool. Thanks so much for sending it over. We're super excited to be kicking off the climate supper here from Japan. We have a few different cameras to kind of show you what's going on. So we're here in Kitchen Studio Suiba, which is one of the spaces of the Kiyobashi Living Lab, our headquarters here in Japan, where we operate and will be operating a wide variety of different food-focused events. And so tonight we're doing a plant-based party, and Rocky and some of the other guests here will be. Rocky and some of the other guests here will be kind of explaining some of the dishes, and I will too. But just to give you a quick background on what we have going on in Japan. So. So as I mentioned, we're here in Kyobashi, which is just east of Tokyo Station. We're operating out of 4 different spaces, which are owned by our project partner Tokyo Tatemono. And here the plan is to bring to life all kinds of different activations which Future Food specializes in. So everything from boot camps and other education programs to innovation projects with food companies to engaging chefs and startups and kind of a diverse mix of different activities. We were doing a lot online last year, and then hopefully as things start to open up a little bit more in Japan, we'll be getting more use of the space, the Suiba space, Tokyo Food Lab space as well, and the City Lab space. So without further ado, now I'll kind of give a little look around the table, and I don't know if you're able to see.
Maybe
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah.
And Rocky, do you want to kind of explain some of the dishes?
Sure,
or-
why not? Yeah.
Okay.
Hello everybody, thank you for watching. Today we're gonna make a presentation of the climate supper from Japan. So in Japan, we are the kind of new for the plant-based food. So some of that, they just eat it, but we are pretty much new for that. So now today is we call that the plant-based food party today. So now we have how many? 8 people together. It's good. Good thing we have that with the corona. Unfortunately, we need to wear the mask for that. Good thing that we can have open this event for that. Now that we would like to show that some sample for that.
Rocky, sorry, excuse me. You need to speak towards your device because we don't really hear what you're saying. Just to repeat to the audience, Rocky organized a dinner which is around plant-based products because it is something very new in Japan. Please correct me if I understood you wrong. And I think you are holding one specific product in your hand. Can you tell us what that is?
Yeah, this is the one. It's called vegetarian butcher. It's it's a full hamburger. So now we're gonna cook for that. I guess you want to show it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We just cook for that hamburger, and we like to eat it. So maybe.
So you want to already get rid of us, but that's not how it works. All right.
Okay. We are ready, and I'd like to show that some of that dishes that today. We have it. One for that it's called.
これ慣れてないんですよね。
でもね。
これがカメラになってる。
もう一個が出てるんだ。
大丈夫だ。ごめんなさい。
So please check out that Chris that the camera. That's one maybe I believe that you can see it. So this is called that the marble tofu. It is a one that it's all made by plant bases. So you see that those ones. I believe that you might all pretty much familiar with that. But actually for myself, I've never used it. But some of them, my friends used it before, used to use it. But that's come out to that those dishes like that, the marble tofu. And another one, we call that the pasta, but it's gluten-free pasta, and with the veggie meat. And another one, it's curry. Mika made it. That's like it's originally from the Sri Lanka. It's a Sri Lanka taste, but it's all made by protein. The plant-based meat. And another one, now here it comes that we have that hot dog. It's a plant-based meat. So we're gonna have a plant-based meat hot dog party too. And another one, it's a pad thai. Pasta is a kind of that close to the Thai food, but we do eat that as a pasta. So we use that gluten-free pasta today. And another one, yeah, that's a karaage. Karaage is I don't know. We have that fried chicken. Yeah, you know that. Okay, that's good. But that's yeah, that's a fried chicken. But we got from those the plant-based meat. It's originally soybean. It's come out to that fried chicken today. Yes, so every single one is we try to be that plant-based food party. So today, okay, so that's pretty much about it. So another one is coming. Another one is coming.
Mamma mia.
That's a pizza. So
Miso pizza with Japanese leek and plant-based cheese. So we can't wait to taste that too.
And quickly, we didn't introduce Hazuki, but Hazuki-san, do you want to say a few? Just introduce yourself.
Yeah, sure. That's the mic.
Okay. You can look in here.
Hi everyone. I've just been cooking all day today, and we were really having fun experimenting with Japanese plant-based products, and we've tried to make these party foods that are kind of have a Japanese twist to it. So it's not just regular hamburger, it's not just regular pizza, it's like Japanese, kind of Japanese. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it too. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. I really don't want your food to get cold, but I have a few questions for you. I really hope you don't mind. So you showed some different products and different sources of plant-based proteins. And you mentioned that in Japan, this is something that is very new and just entering the market. So the Vegetarian Butcher is a Dutch company, if I'm not mistaken. And I think the main protein in their products is soy or peas. Do you think that the consumers actually look for the source of protein in these products? Is that something that interests them, or they only look at the fact that it's an alternative to meat?
Yeah, it's as long as it's good taste, we like to. So now it's time we need to taste for today. So みんな食べましょうか。ちょっと食べてどんな顔するかをちょっと見たいけど。So we are not ready about it. It's good taste or not. As long as it's good taste, we might start feeling like we like to eat it. That's because good taste, and also that could be good for that climate change. So, ちょっと食べ始めてどうぞ。So, I'm not sure, but it's good, but it's getting familiar.
You're not convinced yet, I feel, Rocky. Okay, and do you mind sharing with us how is the price point of these products on the Japanese market? Is it something that is affordable for the mass consumer?
It is, yes. It's pretty much same price. It's not that expensive, but as long as it's same price, people choose just people is familiar with it.
Good.
So people need to have a story with the back of that food.
So did you have any challenges while you were preparing it, that it was a different preparation what you are used to with the original product?
No, it's pretty much same. Just we need to start digging into the water or whatever just 10 minutes before. So that's nothing bad.
Okay.
So
Rocky,
we
just a final question for you before we let you eat now. I can see even under the mask that people are very ready to eat. So you are participating on the digital bootcamp right now. Can you share a tiny bit of your experience with the audience? How was it so far? What were the main learnings, what you have been, taking away from you?
Yeah, you know what? Actually, people, even though my friend that is participating today, they don't know. Some of them know it, but most of my friend doesn't know what does it mean for the plant-based food. Wow, somebody already in Japan we have traditionally we have a tofu. That's kind of sure that's a plant-based food, but that's something another meaning has that for that plant-based food has it. So it's we like now that it is good timing for us that we started to eat it, and we're gonna talk about it. What's gonna be related to that earth or whatever for the future food. So that's something we like to do today.
Okay, so I hope you prepared already like a full plan of questions, and you will interview all of your dinner participants to get more information from them.
So
were they informed that it's not just a fun dinner?
これ喋ったらね、そっちに向くのでどんどん喋ってもらって。
All right, let me just check with with Gian if he maybe have any question for you, and then Gian, do you have any questions?
Yes, this is with regards to the protein alternative that you were talking about. A lot of cultures seem to have this form of protein. Do you think it has become a part of Japanese culture and tradition over time? Or do you think it might become a piece of the culture?
Yeah. Can you turn it up? Sorry, yeah, can you repeat that?
So my question is with regards to the vegetarian protein alternative that Rocky was talking about. And do you think it might become a part of the culture in future? Or do you think there are pockets where this culture exists? So I know for a fact in India, there is this protein alternative that we use, and it has become a part of the culture over time.
Okay, yeah, that's all depend what we're gonna do for the next. Yeah, so I totally understand that, but it is today we have a party, but maybe tomorrow we're not going to have a party today. So that means we cannot have those. Maybe we might lose that, miss those chances that maybe we might have those type of increasing those experiments. So, but I believe that here in that all participants feel like it's good taste and we love it. So that's going to be something changing that. So everybody might be that the food activist for that next one. So once we get it, that's going to be that maybe popular or maybe we're changing. I hope so.
That's very interesting. Thank you.
Thank you. Amazing. Chris, do you have a few words for us? Closing, and then I really let you eat now.
Yeah. I think it's interesting to be kind of tasting some of these like newer or international dishes, and it's kind of going on what Gian had just asked. When actually Japan has a long history of eating plant-based foods that are not kind of some of like meat imitations per se, but more like temple food, or what do you say? How do you say?
Shojin ryori.
Yeah. Shojin ryori. So we don't really have any of that here tonight, but I think it will be interesting to see, whether it's like restaurants or chefs or companies who also not only cater to like, plant-based burgers here and plant-based minced meats, but also kind of looking into like historically plant-based foods in Japan. Another really interesting thing to see is going to be how plant-based seafood does in Japan, a country which consumes so much seafood. So currently there aren't that many players, domestic players, making plant-based seafood in Japan, but it could be huge potential as well if a good one and a sustainable one is made. So tonight we didn't have any plant-based seafood. It's a little bit difficult to find, but that could be. I think that will be a really interesting opportunity and interesting kind of new food category in Japan in the next few years.
One thing I forgot to mention that this is a lettuce. It's called the kyobashi lettuce. That's I don't know you can believe or not. In center of Tokyo Station, main station. It's about 100 meters away from the Tokyo Station. It is made. It's planted in that building. I believe Sarah already take a look at it, that plant building that we built it, and it's kind of that it's almost productive to and the taste is good too. So I hope that's going to be another solution for that urban agriculture or whatever.
Yeah, this is Plantex is the name of the company. I think Francesca wrote it in the chat. And they're on the bottom floor of Tokyo Food Lab. They have a really amazing prototype machine, and they have like some of the most advanced software in the world in terms of indoor farming. So this was grown right here in the heart of Tokyo, this lettuce, and it's a cool group of engineers who are working on this project. So
Amazing. Thank you so much. Please enjoy your plant-based dinner. It was lovely to kick off the third climate supper with you. Lunch, supper, well, for you, definitely supper in this case. And please stay tuned, stay online, maybe check it on our channels, what the other participants are now about to tell to our audience. All right, thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you.
All right, so now we are traveling to another country, and I would like the Indonesian crew to switch on their cameras now. We are having three young talents from Indonesia, this time in the batch, and that's thanks to our very own Amanda Katiliniode. So first I would like to start with her. Amanda attended the first digital bootcamp last July together with Gian, and since then, I am very happy that we could involve her in other activities as well. So Amanda, could you please say a few words?
Hi, Julia. Hi, Gian. Hi, everybody. Well, I attended the very first digital bootcamp, the Food and Climate Shapers Digital Bootcamp. But since 2011, the Climate Reality Project Indonesia, where I'm active in, has been organizing a youth leadership camp for climate crisis. But since I attended the boot camp, then our last two boot camps had been on the nexus of food and climate, because I learned so much from the FAO and FFI's digital boot camp, and I would like everybody to get the same experience as well, although not as intensive and as high profile as what Julia's organizing, but we are doing okay. So last December, we also had our first youth leadership camp for climate crisis with participants from all over Indonesia, mostly youth 17 to 25. And we had so many applicants, and we had like 800 applicants only for 100 seats. And they had to join in groups, so groups of 5, and the group has to be gender balanced, either 2 males or 2 females in the group. Now, 3 days youth leadership camp for climate crisis, and then we continued with post-camp activities. It depends on the participants what they would like to do, but then it has to be on food and climate, and they organized all kinds of communication modes. So again, because I'm so impressed with FAO and FFI's bootcamp, I would like the participants also to have the same experience. So we selected 3 participants out of 100 participants that were attending. We asked them to write, we interviewed them, and we looked at their backgrounds, whether it would be beneficial for them in the future or not. So there are lots of considerations. And we finally had Yuli, Randa, and Rajab, the 3 participants attending the digital bootcamp. And right now, we just finished with our last bootcamp, and we hope that another 3 will get opportunities also to attend the next FAO and FFI's bootcamp. Of course, I would like to thank Julia, Sarah, as well as Francesca for making this possible to have our youth attended your bootcamp.
We are super happy to have them on board, and also you involved, because this time we also had a session with Claudia about SDGs and food, so future food for climate change, and it was a very interesting session. But by the way, for the audience, you can watch it on our YouTube channel because it was live broadcasted, so it's still available online. So now I would like to ask the first young talent from Indonesia on stage, and that's Yuli and her guests. Hi.
Yeah, hello, Julia. Thank you so much.
How are you doing?
Yeah, I am doing cook gado-gado with my friend because I'm not alone in here. I invite my friend, maybe they can say hello.
Yes, they can also now switch on their cameras.
Yeah.
That's the time, the right time to see them. Hi.
Yeah, it's really great, and can share everything because gado-gado is very local food in Indonesia, and then I just prepare many things in my table, and then they wait so long. I think I'm so sorry for this vegetable. Maybe I can change the camera.
Yes, please. I'm very excited.
Yeah, this is gado-gado that I mentioned you. It's really full of vegetable. You can see the salad, egg, and then potatoes. And I have all these ingredients in here. So guys, you can see. If you want to make gado-gado, we have separate 2 parts. And there is a sauce. We call it sauce kacang or sauce, not sauce. Yeah, it made by peanuts, and then all these ingredients like it's
garlic,
onions,
ginger.
and then it's daun salam. I don't know what is the English name of this ingredient, but I had searching for it. Maybe
Bay leaf.
ginger and then
Bay leaves.
yeah, we made it for the saus kacang, and then for the vegetable, yeah, bay leaf. And then vegetable, we had tomatoes and then cucumber. And if we study about this fermentation in our last class, we know that in Indonesia, we can meet many tempe, and this is the kind of tempe in Indonesia. And then we have salad, and then yeah, ini kacang panjang, yeah, maybe it's kacang panjang in Indonesia. And the last I will mention tofu and then tauge. I don't know if you guys ever seen this. Yeah, but
Is that
it's
some kind of a sprout?
Yeah, it's bean sprouts.
Yeah.
Mung bean sprouts.
Yeah, and then when we start to eat the food, we will start to mix the sauce into this vegetable, and it's really nice. And because I don't really like spicy food, I not really use many chili pepper. And maybe some of my friends want to add something, because I know they have a very interesting moment that we share. Maybe Husnul?
Hello, but I have some trouble here. I cannot open my camera.
We cannot see you. We can hear you, but we cannot see you.
Yeah, I cannot open my camera. The host
All
has
right.
disabled it. Oh, okay.
It's a shame, but you can still talk to us if you want.
Okay, thank you, Julia. Yes, like Yuli said, we have some moment to share our food, that gado-gado. I have the same gado-gado, same like Yuli. Thank you.
Amazing.
This is my gado-gado also, with the nut sauce. Seems like Yuli gado-gado. And it was traditional food in Indonesia, and traditional popular food in Indonesia. It was really fresh and healthy, and we can make it at our home. Yeah, thank you. It's from me.
Yeah, I invite Farrell too. Farrell want to tell us about the history about this food.
Yes,
yeah, Farrell.
Okay, thank you, Yuri. Hello, everyone. So while there is no official records about gado-gado, there are some sources that state that gado-gado was famous because gado-gado originated from Jakarta or Betawi, because in 1950 there are a famous song called Gado-Gado Betawi. But some other sources state that gado-gado was heavily inspired by pecel Madiun from another region of Indonesia that shares the same ingredients identically with the peanut sauce. So while gado-gado didn't have any actual or recorded history, but as you can see, there are some famous songs for gado-gado. So it came and it originated from Jakarta. Thank you, Yuli. Thank you, everyone.
For sharing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Thank you, Julia.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Enjoy your meal. I think we have the next participants lined up. Enjoy your gado-gado. I really hope at one point I will have the chance to make it with you together. Bye-bye.
See you. Bye-bye.
And we have our next next climate shaper, Muhammad Ilham Rajab, on the line. Hi.
Hello, Julia.
How are you?
Hi, all. Yeah, we are doing good.
Okay.
How are
so
you?
Tell me, what did you prepare for the climate supper?
Okay. So the climate supper, my climate supper is actually still running for now. We start from the 6 p.m. until 7 p.m. And before we join this room, we still talking about the digital bootcamp, and also about I'm explained about what we have to do on this climate supper, and we talk about what the food that we bring for today for this section. And actually, for your information, guys, for this climate supper, I'm choose to let my guests to bring their own uh local favorite food, so from Indonesian. So we are not bring the same food. We are brings the different food each other, so we can share the knowledge from each other food. And maybe we can share to all of you that we local food in Indonesians, it's so lot, not just look like rendang or something like that, that famous to all of you guys, which not from Indonesian. So for today, actually the main food that I bring for today is tahu gejrot. Did you have hear it?
Yeah, we heard it. I will ask Amanda to type it in the chat for us so we can also read it. Tahu gejrot. Okay. Would you mind
Yeah.
showing us the dish?
Okay, wait a minute. So tahu gejrot is tofu. In English, in uh in English is tofu, fried tofu with some spicy sauce. So gejrot is when you pushing the tofu with some pasture, or if Indonesian traditional using stone, or you can use some spoon to push it until a little bit break. So as you can see, tofu is just like simple fried. So the tahu gejrot is actually local food in Indonesian, or in Indonesians can say it as street food on Indonesian. So this is the tofu that already fried, and this is the spicy sauce that I mentioned before. Nah, for the spicy, it's not too spicy, I guess, because it's using the brown sugar that I will mention about the ingredients after this. This is like a mix of water, so this will this is how you will to eat it, and how will you say the tahu gejrot. Firstly, after you frying this tofu, and you can let the oil spread out, and you pushing the tofu until little broke, and in Indonesians called gejrot. In maybe traditional or old words, it's said gejrot. And you can use the spoon like me, and just like this little bit to crack at the tofu. And actually, you can spread the spicy sauce in top of them, and let it like the spicy sauce will go inside of the tofu, and you can eat all of it, uh, and you can enjoy it actually. And for the ingredient that I use for make this tofu is firstly, if you want to make this sauce, this spicy sauce, it's just very really simple to make it. You have to make some. You have to having some chili, and also onions, the red and the white one, and the brown sugar. You can see in this is international of this Indonesian brown sugar, but if you want to use it, don't too much like this. This is just example. I use it, so maybe you can use the little bit. uh you can fit it on what the chili or other things you have. And also you add some salt to make some tasty of this sauce. And also like I said before, after you frying the tofu and you crack it, you can spread it. And this is for the for the we call it chuka in Indonesian. It's actually the sauce, a spicy sauce. You just mix all of it, and uh you can using blender or you mix
Delicious.
you until you makes it. Yeah, Julia.
Amazing. Yes, I just wanted to say that it sounds delicious. I wanted to ask if this is more like a snack or a starter, or is that what you eat also as a main course?
Yeah, this is actually this is a snack from Indonesians, like street
Mhm.
food. Like usually we eat it when we not on the mind of food. So this is not just like main course, but it's snack from Indonesian
Mhm.
that usually sold on the street. Like if I want to tell you, if in Indonesian sold on the like in the front of school, in the
Mm.
canteen, or you can find in some public area. It's not just sold on the maybe it's selling on the mall or on the like expensive places, but maybe with the expensive price one and
I understand.
and
So why did you pick
yeah,
this?
and
Why did you choose
okay,
this snack for today?
wait, I will turn on off my
Yes.
camera.
Thank you.
Actually, my why I'm choosing this for what I bring in today's section with all of you is because I don't know, uh before this I don't really like I like, but I'm not really like this street food. But during this quarantine, since I'm just at home, since I uh doing my online classes from my home, I'm almost every day met this snake with my family, because I don't know, I just and every day I'm just like wondering to about the tasty, about the maybe I want it every day. I want it again and again. So I'm choosing to make it every day. And yeah, almost my family like this next. So I want to introduce to all of you. Maybe you can maybe you interesting by this snack from Indonesian, which that maybe you're not yet to hearing before. And also I want to tell you about the taste of the this tahu gejrot. Maybe it a little bit spicy because using the chili and also onions inside, but it's have the sweet one because using the uh, sugar brown. And is it actually the real recipe using some uh if Indonesian say it is asam jawa, but but actually the name is java acid, I guess, like uh uh tamarin. Yeah,
Ah, okay.
tamarin. The
Thank you.
so the tamarin is the like acid taste. So if you mix it with the sauce, it will give some acid acid taste, also spicy, also sweet. It's mix it. And when you eat with the tofu, which the frying tofu, it will give the some like uh amazing on your mouth, I guess, because
Amazing.
it's yeah, it's because it's really different tasty, different texture from the tofu. Uh and you eat it on your mouth, it will give some, oh my god, like maybe
Oh
you
my God,
can
you
just
really like
by
explained
yourself at
that on
home.
the most tasteful way. Thank you so much. It's mouth watering now. So
Yeah.
thank you for sharing this. I will ask one more thing because I know that your guests will arrive later and they are bringing different dishes. If you could post some photos in our chat so we can also see the other Indonesian snacks what your fellows selected, it would be amazing. So just post it on our chat so we and the other fellows can see it as well. Thank you.
Certainly. Yeah. After this, I will post about the all of our food pictures and also recipe if you want to
Yes,
trying it on your
very
own
good
home.
idea. Amazing.
Okay.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
Julia.
I think I
Thank
need
you for the
to,
time.
thank you. I need to ask Randa to join us with his guest on the screen now, the final participants from Indonesia. Hi, Randa. You are muted.
Hello, Julia.
Uh-oh.
Hello, Julia.
Hi, can you hear us? The connection is not the best.
Yes, I can. I can hear you.
Okay, amazing. So
Hello?
tell me, who are your guests and what are you preparing for the climate supper?
Is my community from Bilton Earth. I want to introduce my friends. This is Anissa. Anissa from Bilton Earth community, and Bilton. This is Tiara. Tiara from Bilton Earth community, and this is Isma from Bilton Earth. Hello, Julia. Can you hear me?
Yes, more or less. It's cutting off a tiny bit. So why don't we do the following? Let's try without the video. Maybe we can hear you better.
Okay. So, Julia. Hello.
Yes.
I want to present about the traditional culture of the way of eating Belitung people. So this in here we of traditional culture of the way of eating Belitung people, and then I want to explain you about the history and what the tools to use in this culture. So for the first, I want to explain you about Belitung Islands. So Belitung Islands has a tradition of eating together, which is full of philosophy and is still sustainable until now. The name is the
Oh, well, Amanda, I might need you to jump in. Do you know, have you actually talked with Randa before? Do you know what he's preparing?
And
Yeah, I believe it's a different one. Randa, bisa ditulis nggak? Bisa ditulis di chat room. Can you write it down on the chat room? What's your food?
oh, iya.
Dicatat di chat room.
Yes, please. Yes, Miss.
Sorry about that, but the connection is very bad, so we barely can hear you.
Yeah, he will write it down. Kasihan connection-nya nggak bagus.
Oh, that's such a shame. It looked amazing.
Oh yeah, it's you know, it's an elaborate you know, it's a communal eating.
Okay, so they are sharing everything from the table with each other.
Yes, yes. And you see the you know, the cover of the food, it's very traditional.
Oh, very nice.
There it
Maybe
is.
Randa, you can also, amazing. So that's how it keeps the food also warm? Is the purpose of this cover?
No, it's just to get flies away.
Ah, okay.
Di-focus deh, Randa.
So,
Di-focus. Nah, that's good. Can you open that? Can you take that cover up? See? Wow. Wow. So they have fish,
so
they
this is
have
a component of
vegetables.
the Makandulang. If you
Egg. What are they?
vegetables, opor,
Yeah, and
this is the main menu of the Makan Bedulang. The name is Gangan Belitung.
Okay.
So maybe I want to explain you about the history of the Makan Bedulang before I explain how to make a gangan of the main menu of the Makan Bedulang. So in Makan Bedulang, the food served consists of 4 to 6 kinds of side dishes, complete with white rice, and chili sauce. The main menu is gangan. So gangan is a fish with yellow sauce, typical of Belitung. When served, the food is still covered with serving hot. This is the cover. So I will go into details about the main menu, which is gangan at the end. So Makan Bedulang reflects the close ties between the social and ecological system of the island of Belitung. The philosophy is a sense of
All right.
togetherness.
Oh, that's such a shame. I hate when the connection is disturbing our beautiful dinner experience. It looks amazing. So, Amanda, do you want to tell us maybe just a bit about when is this meal, this communal eating? Is that for certain special events, occasions when it's used, or is that something what you do every day?
No, not every day. Usually it's special occasion, and this kind of communal eating. I put it down. I put it there, but then it's autocorrect. So in Indonesian or in their area, it's called makan bedulang. Makan means eat, and bedulang means you do it together like that. So Randa, bisa ditulis apa saja, Randa? So white rice, chili sauce, and then he said that the main dish is ikan gangan. Ikan is fish, so it's a yellow spicy food, and the yellow, you must know, it's turmeric. And then there are all kinds of herbs and spices for the fish. Bisa di apa namanya, close up lagi nggak, Randa? Can you hear us? Yeah, but I'll ask him to make photos because it's so beautiful.
Yes, please. I would love to see that. Well, next time we make sure everyone has a better connection. This is a call out for all those companies who are providing internet out there. We need stable connection to run our climate suppers.
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Amanda. And then I can't wait for the next batch of Indonesian young talents to join the next boot camp and see the other traditional food maybe featured the next time. So we will be already like experts in this. In the meanwhile, we also have another fellow participants, Rabih, on screen. Hi.
Hello, everyone. Happy to be here.
Amazing.
And happy to see you.
Randa, thank you so much for joining. It's a shame we couldn't hear you properly, but Amanda helped us to explain. Please post some pictures in our chat, and now go and enjoy with your friends your communal dining experience.
Thanks, Julia.
Thank you. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye. All right, so now until we are waiting for the next participants to join with their activity, we have a bit of a break. So that's why I have these very handsome two gentlemen with me, Gian and Rabish, and they will share with you how was their experience on the bootcamp and what are they currently doing. So Rabish, maybe you can also share with the audience what was your climate supper back then, and then I know that you are still working on your hackathon project as well. The same for Gian. So I wanted the audience to understand what was this experience for you guys and what exactly is still going on beyond the bootcamp. I think Ramesh, you can go.
Actually, I still remember when we had this session. It was in last year, and my sister and my nephew were here, and we had like a family dinner, lunch, sorry, and we did like traditional food that we do always in Lebanon, and it was like really nice because actually always we had food, but it was like one of the rare time that we sit there and we talk about these dishes and how we do it and what is the background and the history beyond that. So there is a layer in the food where you can bring people together, and you can, if you dig deeper, you can know more about the culture and how people of this region think or how they do things between each other. So it's always one of the keys to the culture of the population or a country through the food and how they gather around the food there. So yeah, it was really a nice, a very nice experience because it stretched my mind and it stretched how we think and how we deal with food. And building on that, regarding our hackathon and our title there, it was always related to the energy and the resources and how we are dealing with the resources around us and what we think usually it's like for granted, but no, there is a lot of energy for this food and this dishes to be there on the table. So yeah, we are still working on that hackathon and we are trying to deliver and to facilitate these big ideas maybe to make it more simple, and where actually it's really simple in the life, but to make it more simpler to deliver to the new generation, to have this collaboration between all of us to make it a better world and to be able to deliver this great thoughts to the new generation to help us to make a difference and a change. And the main title that we are working on is the Zero Hunger and to be able to deliver food to everyone. So thank you so much for having us here and letting us to speak about our hackathon another time.
We are very happy to have you here. And just for the audience to understand, the hackathon is a final act of the bootcamp. We curate teams within the hackathon participants, and they are assigned a specific challenge to work on. They usually get like 2 weeks already to research already existing solutions and benchmark, also identify the values within their teams. And when they arrive to the final weekend, which is a high on adrenaline, very intense 48 hours teamwork together, that's when they also start to reframe the food system problem they are addressing and maybe even prototype in this very limited time frame. So the team of Rabish was actually also very diverse, not only in disciplines, but cultures. So his team members are coming from New Zealand and Italy, and I think he also had someone who was based in France, but was originally from Syria. And you were working on the challenge, how might we facilitate the mindset shift in our food value chain from unidimensional economic growth indicators to human and planet well-being? So these are the type of challenges what the participants are working on and coming up with actually tangible solutions at the end, what they might or might not work on afterwards. So I'm very curious to see how. Back in the days, it was called Food Planet. I don't know if the name stayed or it has been changed, but that's something what they are definitely working on.
Actually, yes. A big shout out to our team member Lana Kennett and Sylvia Passi from New Zealand and Italy. We are still working on our idea. It's now Food Planet because we are trying to mix the when we are saying that we want to facilitate that for the kids. So we have to bring that throughout a certain kind of a play, a game, and then we're going to facilitate the ideas regarding how much energy um, we need to produce our food, regarding the energy of people that they are making there in the ground to be able to have a harvest by the end of the season, as well how much water we need there and how much sun we need there. So that's why we are focusing on the new generation, because one of the biggest problem is the food waste that we are having there. So by putting the spotlight on how much energy we need to produce a bowl of salad to be simple, and then if we can reduce how much we are having like food waste there. So if we can reduce that, so we are having from the same resources, from the same energy, we are stretching the production to be able to have for more people. So we are starting from what we already have, what we already own, and then we're gonna stretch that game for more and more ideas related to the SDG, and as much as we can deliver those SDGs to the new generation, we will be able to create a new, or maybe we're going to contribute to a new mindset where we can have like a healthier and abundance of products for everyone, not just for a certain
Exactly.
critical part of the world.
Exactly. So those who would like to learn more about Food Planet, please reach out through us to Rabish, Lana Kenneth, and Sylvia Paci, and I'm pretty sure that they can give you more information. And now, before we are welcoming our next participants, I also would like to talk about one other project which was born in a hackathon called Tasty Teaching. And luckily, our bootcamp participants can experience the evolution of this project, because Gian is hosting all of the reflection bites during the bootcamp. So Gian, do you want to tell us a bit about the project?
Yes, of course. Where do I start? So as you guys know, or if you didn't, I attended the first cohort of the Food and Climate Shapers Digital Bootcamp last year in July. To be honest, it came at the right time, and it couldn't have been a better time, to be honest. The pandemic was in, everyone was seated at home, and there was so many things going on, and changes in careers, understandings. People started reflecting on their own lives, and while they were sitting at home and while they had to work from home, as lifestyles changed and patterns changed, and it did get confusing for a lot of them. And that's when I had the opportunity to join the digital bootcamp, and I must say it has been a transformational journey for me. And the hackathon came by. We, as Julia mentioned, we were a team of 5 put together from South Africa, from Italy, Finland, and India, put together, and we started working on the mindset of people, and we were trying to work on something that connected the food and the mind together, the body and the mind together through food. And that's how we started off, and we pitched it for the end journey of our digital bootcamp at the hackathon, and successfully we called ourselves Tasty Teaching. And Tasty Teaching started off with this motto, as in mental well-being through culinary pedagogy and mindful eating. So comes to our surprise, we were given the opportunity to present our pitch at the Food System Summit in October last year. And that gave us a lot of inspiration and motivation to continue working on our project, and which we still do every day. And we have been focusing ideologies towards different segments of the community. Number one being corporate, and then the second one being the schools, and the third being the house. So we're trying to target people from different parts of the community, and majorly corporate mental well-being is a very important perspective for us, especially in India, because we have been trying to study and we've been finding a lot of data that ensures and assures us that there is a lot of scope for mindfulness when it comes to working, especially when you are working from home. So we're trying to take a new approach through mindful eating and teaching people how to eat what they have around them and how to better enhance the experience of food. And a few weeks ago, we were approached by the Food E-Show, and we had the first opportunity to go completely global with a few of our exercises. And we had the opportunity to do that across 95 countries online and over 3,000 participants, which was a very big deal for us. And going forward, we plan on launching our first corporate program for small and medium enterprises starting 2 weeks from now. So it's going steady and it's a lot of fun.
Amazing. Thank you, Guillaume, for sharing. I'm super happy to follow Tasty Teaching along the way. And now we have our participant, Pauline Malbuth, joining us. Well, she's dialing in from Verona, but she's originally from Germany. And she has a dinner/lunch guest with her from
Thailand, from Bangkok.
From Thailand, okay.
Yeah.
All right, very nice to meet you, Kate. I hope I pronounce your name correctly.
Yeah, Kate is fine.
Yes, Kate, we cannot see you right now. We had you on the screen at the moment and now your video is off. Now.
Perfect.
Hi.
Yeah.
Amazing. Hi, so tell us, what did you prepare?
We prepared some tam. Maybe I just introduce my friend because, yeah, her name is Sukrutai. Actually, you can also say Kate or KK. And I met her, I don't know, 3 years ago when I was working or living in Thailand. And yeah, she has her own business as well. So right now she has already 3 restaurants, and the main dish they do is somtam, which is like papaya salad. Mm-hmm. And I really love that dish and I really miss that. And I think it's like a really specific taste, like sour and sweet and spicy at the same time. So I wanted to introduce it, and she's also in her restaurant, and she can show us how Thai do like somtam.
Amazing, I'm excited.
Yes, actually I will first show you the raw material we prepare here. We have the papaya, the green papaya. This is the green papaya salad. And then we make it, we take the green out and it's become this. Mm-hmm. This is around 1 dish we prepare. And we put all this together. This the tomatoes here and some ingredients here. Yeah, I will show you how to cook it.
Some ingredients. It's a huge list of ingredients. Some ingredients, very casually.
We have the tomato here. We have the carrot here and the long bean here. And the main ingredients here is the papayas here. And this is how we cook. We first put the chili in. This is I don't know how to call this in English, but we put everything here and then we use this to make it cook together.
Okay.
Yeah, to make it, yeah. So this is come from the clay. It's made by like the make is by the clay.
Okay. So is it sorry, the bowl is made out of what?
Clay. Like
clay. Ah, okay,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's clay. So can we start? And we also put here the beans here also. And the little shrimp here.
Okay.
Okay, so my staff will show now.
Thank you.
Yeah, so this is like the local food of the northern of Thailand. So this is the first step. We make the chili. We blend it by use this. Okay.
I did
Yeah,
the
and then
same also in Italy, like marble, but
ได้หมดแล้วพี่อ้อย Sorry because they are also working here, so it's
No need
quite
to
loud.
apologize. We are very happy that you can still accommodate us.
Yeah, this is the sauce where we put in.
What kind of sauce is that?
This one we have actually we can do it very fresh as well, but because we want to make it every dishes to have the same taste, so we prepare it in advance. Here we have the fish sauce, we have the sugar, we have some lemons. Yeah, it's kind of special recipe. Yeah.
Okay.
So different restaurants they have their own recipe how to make the taste difference. And here we put the tomatoes. Yeah, here you can see the tomato. Yep. And after we put the bean and the carrots here, and then papaya. ใช่ใส่เลยค่ะ Yep. Okay. สุดท้ายนี้ตำไหมมันจะได้เข้าเครื่อง Yeah, and then we cook it, mix it together.
So how spicy is this dish, or how hot?
Actually, for spicy, you can choose whether, like, if you come to Thailand, you can say whether you need more spicy, then they will put more ตักใส่จานเลยค่ะ They will put more chili, or if you need less, then it can be 2 or 3. But in average here, we put 4 or 5 chilies.
Yeah,
so it's very, very spicy.
Yeah, so it's not for the Western taste buds. I see. Okay.
I always said my pet means not spicy at all. So not spicy. So it's really helping because for Thai people, spiciness is different than like European would.
So this is the finished one.
That looks delicious. And so do you eat this as a snack or like a midday meal, or is that something that you eat next to something?
Actually, we have this with a side dish like chicken or some sticky rice. Do you know sticky rice?
Yes.
I can show you here. We cooking. พี่อ้อยเปิดอันนี้ให้หน่อย We cook the sticky rice. This is how we make it.
Wow, amazing.
And this is the chef. So we eat it with sticky rice. Yep.
So how many of these salads are you preparing per day in your restaurant? It must be very popular.
Actually, for one day we use about 2 bags, which is about 20 papayas, 20 or 30 papayas. Yeah, like the size I show you in the beginning.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for showing this to us. It was very nice to see how the original recipe is made. So, Paulina, can you tell us, what did you do in Thailand back in the days?
Actually, I did the same for like the Italian company right now, but with Asian products. So we were sourcing Asian products from Thailand. I was based in Bangkok in Thailand, but we did like sourcing around Asia.
Yeah. So for the audience, Paulina is actually working for a supermarket chain, and her role is to source ingredients. Can you tell us a bit? I know, like under NDA, we keep it politically correct, but what do you pay attention to when you are picking the ingredients, especially those which need to be imported to the country where they end up on the shelf to the consumers? So what do you take into consideration? Because you have to look at the consumer needs, but you need to also look at authenticity, hopefully the environmental impact. So tell us a bit about that, please.
Okay, I try. Basically, we have different requirements. So if we source products, we need to have like production or producers who need to be, of course, certified with different certificates, not only like the food security, but also the social compliance side. And of course, we're doing like tests before we call it marketability tests. So we of course check like the different products for their different values, like depending what kind of food it is, and if I mean, we are checking everything beforehand and even on a regular basis. So this is food security and social compliance certificates. Of course, we also are going visiting the factories, like how do they, or even some farmers. But this is when I was sourcing in Asia or even in Italy. So we try to understand how they work, and we do also some audits and like, yeah, different types. But of course, you also check other things. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing. It must be a very complex process, because as our food system is very complex, you need to pay attention to so many different factors when you are picking just one product, right? And then as a consumer, you enter a supermarket and it's just an endless sea of different SKUs, as we call them. And then you are there to don't even know how to choose.
Yeah,
so
you even need to like you need to be aware of packaging. What kind of packaging is there? A mosh? Are you testing? Is it mosh moa or some other like BPA in there? You're checking for like the volume. Who? What can they do as a volume? Because we are big retailers, so big retailers need big volumes as well. But also we're trying to find like associations, like where we pick some farmers together. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you, Paulina. I will let you, because I believe you just prepared. So please enjoy your salad. Thank you for inviting your friend from Thailand. It was a very great experience. And please stay online if you wish to listen to the others, but we already have the next participants lined up from Berlin. Thank you.
Thank you.
Enjoy. And I see that we have other person behind Rabish also, who is checking in with us now. A young generation. Hi.
To say hi. This is my nephew, Karim. Come on, man.
So we met actually. You remember we met already in December when we had lunch together.
he were here, and now he is visiting us another time. He's based in Abu Dhabi.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe the next time he can join the boot camp and he will run a climate supper. Right? Good. So Renzo, I saw you quickly pop up on the screen. Renzo?
Yes, I'm here. We are here.
Yes.
But
For
I
some
think
reason we cannot see you right now.
But apparently the moderator needs to give me the right, yes.
Now, yes, exactly. I think you were switched off because we needed to finish with Paulina first. And I see you already eat. So tell us, what did you prepare?
Okay, we prepared, we can show you, but first we tell. But I would like my guest to tell me what I cooked. So what did we have?
Okay.
So first of all, hello guest, may I ask you to introduce yourself?
So I'm Raz, I'm a friend of Renzo, and he invited me here to his amazing lunch that he prepared. And yeah, we're enjoying here, amazing lunch. Renzo is a great cooker.
Good to know.
Great cooker.
All right.
What we having?
So we have here a bulgur, some tofu, gran apple.
Yeah, pomegranate,
some seeds, and some nice rote beet hummus. It's really, really good.
That sounds really good.
Exactly. And some pieces of bread, some nice wine. And yeah, it's nice for me to be part of that, you know, to listen and to spend your time with Renzo. Yeah.
Amazing. So I remember Renzo actually told us on one of the reflection bites that he eats pomegranate very frequently because he likes the flavor. I didn't forget that. So please show us that plate, because now I'm very curious.
Okay, let's see. Okay, I don't know if you see the colors, but what I know much, I think.
More or less.
So in our conversation, if I can start to share how I engaged Raz. So I basically took inspiration from Gannibal approach, and I asked him, how do you feel today if you were a fruit or vegetable? And he got like, whoa, what is question? You know, you need to be like, you need to improvise with food, also how you feel. So it took a bit of time, and then Raz said, actually, I feel a bit like a watermelon. I feel like a watermelon where I need to, you know, I feel at the core of the watermelon, and I feel to be like that today. So we had this conversation first, and we share a bit more what is important in cooking. And I think we had, that's the potatoes in the oven, by the way. Sorry, but I took the time, I used the time in the kitchen as well.
Yes, please go. If you need to take them out, I will just...
I will go. Okay.
Yes. So what was the outcome of your conversation? So what is important in cooking?
Yeah, so for me, I shared the idea of diversity. So you need to have a diversity of food all the time. Also for your way to digest. That's what I learned. So how in your intestine, you need to have that sort of diversity of ingredients. They create your bacteria to support you. And I think Raz was sharing the for him is Raz. What was your feeling about cooking? Like what's important in cooking that you said?
About cooking, for me, it's keep it simple as possible. You know, like to not come with too much expectations.
Yes.
And to accept the end results, no matter what. You know, of course, during the time of cooking, to give your heart, to give everything that you can. But
yeah, that was interesting for me. Yeah, it's more about the mindset, you know, that you join the dinner, but with the idea of we're doing our best, but you know, to accept the process. So trust the process.
Very good, very good. So when we talk about simple, because I really like this word to be used, because we tend to overcomplicate things nowadays. That also is given because of the availability of so many different things that you might not know what to pick and what recipe to follow. And I think that also, it's amazing that we have so many recipes available online, and like the internet makes your cookbook being like endless. However, I feel especially the young generation, they rely solely on these recipes and follow them gram by gram, and they don't necessarily understand how those flavors and ingredients go with each other and how they can also add together to a nutritious meal. So I think that would be very interesting to see how can we teach people that there are things what is available around us, around them. They don't necessarily need to go through different supermarkets to find the right ingredient. How could they replace certain you know, ingredients in the recipe? I remember we wanted to do a simulation of a supermarket before COVID happened, a simulation of a supermarket where we created different scenarios. What could someone who is working in a supermarket help you with? Because it's not only loading the shelves and you know, putting the shopping cart back to the row. That person could have the responsibility to help you. When one product is not on the supermarket shelf, let's say there is no rice, then what happens? Do you really need to go to another supermarket, or can you just find another grain which would suit your recipe exactly? So I think this simplicity needs to be brought back to our kitchens and the way how we cook. So thank you so much for sharing your thoughts on that. I wanted to ask Rabish and Gian if maybe they have some questions for you as well. Maybe they don't. I would be surprised.
Gian, do you have any question?
No, please go ahead, Ravi. I can go after you.
I just want to know more about the plate itself. How you made it happen?
Yeah. So it's a bit similar what Julia was saying. So let's say my approach is I have always 5 grains available in my kitchen on my shelf. They're different from white red rice, bulgur, buckwheat, and millet. And then we also touch upon the idea of dormant resources. So when Julia was talking about this, I don't have rice, I said, okay, let's see what I have left in the fridge. And I had half pomegranate. So for us today, the job was to just pick out all the seeds inside the pomegranate, for example. And then I started basically boiling the water with bulgur and salt the tofu on the, by the way, it's a curcuma tofu. And I just salt it in the pan. And then I think I just had some chickpeas left. I found out it's your favorite ingredients.
The king.
The king chickpeas. So we had this in the process on the pan. And when they were ready, so I usually make sure that the bulgur is almost ready, but not completely. And I finish this with in the pan. So I just complete this in the pan. And then I add always seeds on top later. So I add hemp seeds, pumpkin seeds, and usually spice because I love spices. So that's how this festival came about.
Yes, this diverse plate basically in front of you. Well, please enjoy. Also the afternoon wine. I actually wanted to have a glass, but then I thought maybe I keep it for the evening session. All right, thank you for joining us. And let's move to Nigeria now. I think we have Chow. I think we have Dumebi already on the line. Hi. I'm good. How are you?
Hi, thank you. So my guest can't make it for one reason or the other. So I will just talk about what.
Yes, Dumebi, I think you will need to keep your microphone closer to your mouth, otherwise we cannot hear you. Yes.
Can you hear me now?
It's perfect.
Okay, good. Okay. Hi. Okay. Yeah. So my guest couldn't make it. I'm not sure why. They just told me like 5 minutes ago.
Oh.
So, no.
The best type of guest.
So I would just go through what we would have. Well, I had planned to do for the supper. So shall I go ahead? Or?
Yes, but please keep. Sorry, yes, exactly.
Yes. Okay. So I'm focusing a lot on food waste and how to reduce it. So it's actually funny, when I started this course, I didn't realize it was going to be a lot about the sort of thing that I've been doing, because sometimes when you go about sustainability and everything, the names get so big and confusing. And so I realized, oh, this is everything I'm always doing. So last week, I had a client who wanted a healthy bread, and I thought, oh well, what do I have in excess of? And I had cauliflower. So we normally have cauliflower, broccoli delivered from the north, which is about maybe 6-7 hours away. And so sometimes by the time the vegetable gets here, it's a bit worn, it's a bit used up because of the journey. And instead of throwing it away, because I hate throwing things away, I thought, why not make it cauliflower bread? And so I made this massive loaf of cauliflower bread, which was basically based on cauliflower that I couldn't sell anymore to customers. So turn it into something else. And it was actually fantastic. And we're just selling it and people have enjoyed it. And then other things I like to do as well with when I'm cooking is so all the peels, so carrot peels, onion peels, garlic peels, any vegetable, beetroot, I put it into a pot and roast it, and then pour water over it with fresh thyme and fresh rosemary, and make a really, really earthy vegetable stock, and that's really fantastic. When you put it on anything, it just tastes really great. So that's what I've been doing. So that's what I wanted to be focused on, using and upcycling, like waste and things that people will throw away. And unfortunately, in our part of the world, it's not as common to do that. So I remember like 2 days ago, the cook at my parents' house he had discarded almost a whole cucumber. And I was like, why are you throwing it away? And he says, well, he doesn't need it. And I said, oh no, but you could use it for something else. And it was perfectly good cucumber. And he said to me,
Oh, Dumadi, we have some issues with the audio. Are you still there? Oh. Just one sec. Okay, wait, I muted you for a moment because maybe, can you just check if your headphone is plugged in properly? Okay, and now let's try again.
can you hear me now?
Yes, for some reason we have a bit like robotic noise, but if you don't speak too fast, then we can still understand you.
Right,
So
okay.
I
Sorry.
actually had a question for you because you are running a food business based on this concept that you don't want anything to be wasted. That's very important. I think we have to stop calling them cooking from food waste, but rather using everything up to its whole potential, right? So what was the perception? What was the perception of the consumers at the beginning?
It's always, I think it's always a funny one because people are like, why would you serve me something from food waste? It's like, no, it's supposed to go into the trash, is what people assume, think it is. But I think when it's explained properly and when it's presented properly, I think it's something that can be understood and something that can catch on. But also, it's not just the consumers that is that's just one side. It's also the people behind the food, getting them to understand the reason why they're doing this. So it's doing it on both sides. So I'm sort of in the midst of that. I'm presenting it to people, and I'm also working with a team of people to teach how to use up waste and not just throw it away. Because unfortunately for us in West Africa, we just discard a lot of things. Yeah, and I mean, I learned all this because I lived in England for 18 years. So I learned how to, you know recycle properly and put the waste right in and all that stuff. But not many people have access to that or have been taught that. So I think it's a lot of teaching over and over and over again, and then presenting it properly. And I think also doing topics like called cooking from food waste, being very spot on and saying this is what we're doing, as opposed to calling it upcycling. Because people just be like, oh well, that's too fancy.
That's amazing. But I think it's very important what you also said, and I think that's what the bootcamp also represents, that we need to get that inspiration maybe from somewhere else. We need to look outside of our own context sometimes to get those solutions, maybe find the different ways how these things can be communicated. And now if we look at you, you have a team who you already train, and they will be able to also educate or just communicate about this food system issue to others. So eventually they will already have that information, what you needed to go to England to find, right? So that's amazing, and especially the impact what you make on your own community. So could you tell us how many meals do you usually serve per day?
Probably up to 25. I'm actually here right now, so I don't actually have a kitchen here per se because I am in Nigeria and I actually normally live in Lome, Togo. So my kids and my husband are actually in Lome. So I'm in my restaurant kitchen for now, which is also why.
Do you want to show us around? We have a few more minutes.
Sure. Okay. So I need to put this. Oh, how about this? Okay. So this is the restaurant space.
Very nice.
Yeah. So that is the loaf that I make.
Ah, the cauliflower bread.
Cauliflower bread. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. But because it's cauliflower, it sinks. So it doesn't have enough to hold it, but it's still pretty good. Yeah, so that's the bread. Sorry. And my team.
Hi.
And then kitchen, so making pasta, but it's seafood pasta we're making. Yeah. What else? And then we also do like burgers and things here. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So that is my kitchen. Yeah. Oh, and then here too. We do a mixed salad. I think this is rocket, baby spinach, and barbecue as well. So yeah,
so the climate in Nigeria actually allows you to grow a lot of different like produce, right? Like your climate allows a very diverse diet, correct?
Yes, it does. Funny thing is that because a lot of people who have lived abroad move back and they still like the things that they would eat that's eaten when they lived in England or Italy or wherever. So we have a lot of mixed eaters, I guess. Some people still predominantly like local Nigerian food, so things with spinach, with palm oil, but then we have people who like burgers and pasta. So it's a very mixed diet. Yeah, very.
All right. Thank you so much, Dumebi, for showing us around and explaining the strategy or the mission what you took there. And now I think we are traveling to Ireland. Unfortunately, Carol couldn't be here with us, but he prepared a video, but we will share with you now. Thank you, Dumebi. Bye-bye.
Bye. Ciao.
Am I wrong? Oh my God, did I miss some person? It's my bad. Look at me. I needed 3 climate supper to actually mess up with my schedule. Bonmi, thank you for switching on your camera. It's actually your turn now before we broadcast the video. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Very good. So tell us what brought you to the boot camp and what did you prepare for today for your intervention here?
Right. Okay. Yeah. So thank you, everyone. It was nice listening to Dumebi, and I know she's in Nigeria, and a lot of the things she was saying, I was actually able to relate to what she was talking about in terms of what people like for their food and things like that. So I think one of the things that brought me was actually more of interest. I've actually never heard of the food and climate, and as soon as I saw it, I thought this would be something interesting for me, and then I was going to be able to learn. Although I work within the recycling space, which was mostly focused on plastic, but not a knowledge on food. And just being a part of this has actually put me in that space of, oh, okay, other things can be done aside from that. So I think for that, I'm very grateful for the program and just having even a broader knowledge of what can still be done. And obviously speaking from living in Nigeria and living in other countries, I lived in the UK as well. I'm just looking at that difference, and with this learning, being able to look at how I can bridge the gap and take a lot of this learning and use it to educate people, even if it's just to start with education, and then maybe finding some form of partnership with, Future Food, and see how we can actually bring that sort of thing to Nigeria and let everyone, be more informed. So yeah, so it's actually really been interesting just being a part of this. And I'm so happy, even though I stumbled on it, I think 2 days before the program started. So I'm glad to be a part of that. So thank you so much. So I don't know if I can share a picture. I know I've spoken to Julia. She knows about me not being able to get people here, but I have a picture because I prepared something because I wanted to make sure I put in my best. But let me just see if I can drop the picture in the chat of what I have in front of me.
Do you have it on your computer? Because then you can share your screen if you want.
Okay, all right, let me just, okay, that's fine. I'm opening it up now. Okay, so I'll share literally because it's literally right beside. So that's the food. I don't know if we can see it yet.
I think it's still loading. Yes, we can see. Yes.
Okay, fantastic. So that's what I have in front of me, and I will just try and explain it. And I know Dumebi talked about, so it's right here. This is the vegetables. So it's called vegetable soup. And this is the plantain flour. So it's made from plantain, and it's literally a local dish. And then this is made from hibiscus flower. Yeah, so it's called a zobo drink, which is something we take locally. So it's made from zobo, honey, and what's it called? The pineapple peels. So we boil it together, and orange peels as well, to kind of give it a bit of flavor of whatever you want. So, and it's very, very nutritional. Like, we drink that as it's literally, you feel sick, you can drink it, and somehow you just feel like you're going to be okay. So, and yeah, so then I'll talk a little bit about the vegetable as well. So that's basically a mixture of spinach, or pumpkin leaf or water leaf, some of the things that Dumebi talked about earlier that we grow here. Luckily in Nigeria, we have the opportunity to grow some of these things, and it's very accessible. It's literally a lot of people are beginning to having a culture of actually just planting different types of vegetables at the back of your house, because obviously we have the space and we have that opportunity. So you can just go at the back of your house and pluck some of these things, and you have that opportunity. So, and yeah, so you just mix that with a little bit of spice or whatever you want, a little bit of oil as well, depending on how much oil you want, whether it's palm oil or vegetable oil, coconut oil, whatever you want that feels healthy to you, you can use that, and a bit of spice and pepper. So we have like a blended mix of pepper that we use when we're cooking. And then the plantain, and then good thing about the vegetable is that it can be anything. So even if you get it from the farm and it's been there for a few days, you can put it in the fridge and you can still cook it with it, because you steam it and you can use it at any time, and you can preserve it, keep it there for a few weeks, and come back, microwave it, whatever, put it back on the fire, and you're still able to eat it. So it can stay for as long as you want once you've cooked it. And then also the plantain flour, that is more of after we plucked plantain, there are some people that they say, oh, this is the waste. So it's talking about food waste. So there's some ones that they are discarded at harvesting, and so some people harvest that and then they dry it out, very dry, and mill it. So it's turned into the plantain flour, which you can eventually eat and consume. So I think for me, what I wanted to draw out was obviously the use of some of these things already. So I think generally in Nigeria, we actually don't really know that we are using the food waste sometimes. We just assume that, oh, yeah, okay, I can just make use of this, but we actually use it to make, which is why even so for the hibiscus, for instance, for a long time, it's just always been used as obviously flour, and then it starts to wither away. But then people started realizing that you can dry it, make it very, very dry. I'll probably get a sample of the flour and probably share it. You can dry it in the sun dry it, and then cook it for as long. And the good thing about it is, so even if you make the first cook and you steam it and you leave it for a while and allow that, you can dry that again and reuse it again over time to get the same type of flavor. So probably have about 6 or 5 uses, and then you can this is literally what I have in front of me, and that would have been obviously what I would have shared with my guests if I was able to have them. But this week has been very challenging, but I'm glad I'm able to share this with everyone.
It's very interesting. Would you mind, repeating what is exactly in that drink? Because I'm very curious about that.
So this is hibiscus. So there's a leaf called the hibiscus flower. So that's what it is. So hibiscus flower with honey, and then plantain peel. So the back of the plantain, pineapple rather, the back. So you've taken out all the nice in front. So the back of it, so you boil it with this to kind of give it a pineapple taste. So it's actually used for flavor, but instead of discarding it, we use it and we cook it with this as well. So all that, most times, obviously, because this is homemade, most times people actually produce this and sell it in the local market. So they always put what they use as like, hibiscus, honey. Some people use sugar. So depend on the level of, so if you're working with diabetic people, you will use honey, and then you include, so some we use at home, we use pineapple peels. And then some people use orange peels as well. So it depends on how you want that to taste in terms of the flavor for you.
Yeah, so it sounds like a very flavor-rich drink. I should try.
Yes, so it has a very, yes, very flavor-rich and very, very refreshing actually. Once it's really cold, it's extremely refreshing, extremely refreshing.
Wunmi, I have a question. Is
Okay.
this usually had fresh, or can this be fermented as well? Let's say, like if you want to make a kombucha of sorts, is it possible, do you think?
Which one is that?
The drink that you mentioned right now, is this fresh or is this fermented? Or
no, it's fresh.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can, so yeah, so we, like I said, it's just to get the leaf. Once you have the leaf, you boil it with everything included, you allow it to dry, put it in the fridge. You can store it for as long as you want, as long as it's in the cool fridge. And this has been probably maybe for like 3 days. So it's just, it's there and you can have it. I can open it, have a drink at any time, put it back in the fridge for another couple of weeks, as long as I want. So it's just up to.
I love
That's very interesting.
the presentation. Wunmi, thank you so much for sharing this with us. Now we allow you to consume also these delicious things that are on your tray. Oh, did we lose her? Wunmi?
We lost her.
Yeah, I think I will stop her screen sharing. Maybe that will allow her to at least come back to say bye. No? For some reason, I cannot stop sharing her screen.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think you're right. Okay. All right, Wunmi, thank you so much. I don't know if you heard me. Please enjoy your meal and also your drink. I will ask you to send the recipe of this drink in our chat so we can maybe try to replicate it ourselves. And please follow the others along the day, and we see you next week.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Wunmi. Ciao, ciao. So now, it's time now, right, Gian, to
Yes.
go to Ireland. Amazing. And that will give me also the time to charge my devices, not that you lose me along the way. So we have Carol, who is participating from Ireland in the boot camp. Unfortunately, you couldn't be with us live today, but he prepared a very interesting video for you. So let's see that.
Hello, everybody. My name is Carol. I'm from Ireland. I'm in Waterford in the south of Ireland at the moment. I'm really sorry I can't be with you today. Unfortunately, I've got some other things on, but I wanted to make sure I participated in today in this amazing global supper. So I'm going to show you something very Irish, at least I think it's very Irish, very seasonal, and really to highlight the best of produce that's available at the moment in Ireland. So kind of at the moment, you know, we're coming really at the start of spring in Ireland. So really the amount of produce that's available, it's quite small. But I'm going to show you a really, really simple salad. It can be used as a main, as a side, as something just to snack on. And it's using ingredients that are really in season at the moment in Ireland. As I said, there's not a huge variety. We're coming out of that time of the year where we're kind of looking at, we've been eating root vegetables. If you're eating seasonally in Ireland, you're eating a lot of root vegetables. And the land is just beginning to wake up. But we have some really delicious stuff here at the moment. So what I'm going to make to you today is going to be something very, very simple. Anyone can make it around anywhere, really, and you can also make it your own. Just a couple of really simple ingredients, just treated, I hope, really well. So today I've got some beautiful organic rhubarb. So just coming to the end of season in Ireland at the moment. And to be honest with you, it's something that I haven't eaten a whole amount this season. I've eaten it a couple of times and I really wanted to make the most of it while it's coming to the end of season in Ireland. So I'm going to make you a rhubarb salad with some beautiful organic beetroots. These come from an organic farm, really not too far from where I am at the moment. The farm is about maybe 8 kilometers from my home here. So we're going to make you these.
Hello.
I'm going to do a roast beetroot and rhubarb salad. I'm just going to use the main part of the beetroots here, like I suppose the main body of the beets. In this salad, I'm not going to use the leaves. But you know, if you're using beetroots, don't throw away the leaves. These can be used for great things, like, you know, a lot of times I pickle these. They can be used really kind of as anything, but they're pickled and thrown into a salad. They can taste great. So I'm going to make a rhubarb and beetroot salad, and with that I'm going to use roasted off in some beautiful cold pressed Irish rapeseed oil. Again, really everything today is really about a huge focus on Irish produce and what is available here, and really the best of Ireland. I want to highlight the best of Ireland and what's available here. So this is a cold pressed rapeseed oil from Ireland. You know, growing up in the late 80s and early 90s in Ireland, all we really used was olive oil and imported olive oil and lard to cook. So it was lard and olive oil. But really, I think, you know, Ireland's in an interesting place at the moment. It's really just, I feel anyway, that it's really just discovering its food identity. For a long time, our food identity has been tied inextricably to really kind of the great British Isles and British food. But I really find in the last 10, 15 years or so, there's a lot of Irish chefs going on a search for identity of really like, well, what is Irish food when we look back on it? You know, I think our history has had a huge impact on the food we eat in Ireland. You know, and a lot of times when I talk about Irish food, like, you got to think beef, because we rains all the time. We've got amazing green fields. We've some of the best beef in the world here. Really, I feel it is the best. It's perfect climate to grow beef and to rear cattle in. But there's so much else here. You know, Ireland is an island, but we don't really eat seafood. I think seafood in Ireland has been really strongly linked to both poverty and the Catholic Church. And, you know, these are two things that Ireland is really only shaking off in the last 15, 20, 25 years or so. So there's been a really amazing discovery going on of Irish chefs, you know, both, you know, really contributing to understanding what Irish food is. So today I really wanted to highlight what is there, you know, and so we've got these great produce here at the moment. So I've got this lovely cold pressed rapeseed oil. I'm going to roast off both the rhubarb and the beetroot in. I have some beautiful, it's not quite Irish, but it is kind of Irish, this beautiful burn balsamic Irish heritage apple condiment. So it is essentially infused apples with, like, it's a grape kind of thing infused with apples. I really wanted to use apple in it, to be honest with you. Apple flavors, again, to be seasonality. We're coming to the end of that winter larder. Apples that have been in our larder since you know, harvest last year. It's a great time to be using up the last of our winter stores, our kind of late winter stores here. And I love apples. The apple flavor will go really nice with the sweetness of the rhubarb and the beetroot. I didn't really have time, but normally what I would have done before is I would have used apple core. So that centerpiece of the apple that everyone eats around and throws away, or if you're like me, you eat it. But there's loads of stuff you can do with that. In another role, we used to kind of make that into an apple syrup, really refine that down. It becomes like a super sweet, really delicious glaze. You can use it on meat, you can use it on fish even if you want, or even just dot it around the salad. So I didn't have time to do that today, or the last couple of days. But I have this lovely apple flavor kind of vinegar. You know, it's not quite a vinegar, it's something a little bit richer than a vinegar, but it's a white Italian condiment. So Italian, Irish, you know, and then on top of that, we've got a couple of other little ingredients to add some texture to our salad. I've got some walnuts. Today I've just used walnuts. It's what were available to me. Again, these are not Irish walnuts, unfortunately. Unfortunately, nut production in Ireland is quite low at the moment. It's not great. So I just said to use nuts. It's going to bring some texture into the salad. You can use any nuts you want, really anything at all. You know, I did have some beautiful Irish hazelnuts last autumn, but I ate them all because they were delicious. And I've got some pumpkin seeds. So I'm going to, again, for adding some texture, I'm going to toast off these pumpkin seeds. I'm just going to dot them around the salad again to add some kind of a layer of texture in there. And again, pumpkin seeds are something that I think a lot of people who use pumpkin or Irish hazelnuts scoop them out and throw them away last autumn. They're great seeds to be used. They're delicious and they're really healthy. Some pumpkin take a little bit of time. I'm going to dissect them and pull them apart, dehydrate them. You're left with something really nutritious that you can really use the whole piece of the produce. So like, again, focus here today is trying to use absolutely everything that we can. And I'm going to finish it off again to bring a little bit of texture. I mentioned earlier about the role that, you know, cows and dairy and beef played in Ireland and Irish heritage. So I think it would be a little bit remiss of me to just exclude that, given that Ireland is the perfect place to produce cattle and to, you know, for both dairy and for beef. I'm not using any meat of it. I'm myself trying to move away from beef, but I'm going to use some dairy in it. So I've got some beautiful organic creme fraiche from a creamery not too far from me. So this is going to be our salad, and I'm just going to bring you through some steps now. So, this was a cut, and we come straight back, and it's ready. So I just want to present I'm not sure how it's going to show up on this thing, but we have this lovely rhubarb and beetroot salad with toasted pumpkin seeds, toasted walnuts. We've got some rapeseed oil dripped around it, and then we have this beautiful Irish apple flavored white Italian condiment. As I said, it's like a white wine vinegary appley thing, so it's super delicious, super fresh. So how I made this was very, very simple. I just drizzled the beetroots with olive oil, didn't peel them or anything like that, exactly as they are. Put them into a hot oven at around 200 degrees Celsius. So put them in that, stuck them into the oven, covered them in foil, let them roast off there for about 40 minutes in total. Really, you just test it with a knife. When the knife starts to go through there, it's at your desired texture or crunchiness. They're good to go. I take them out. I don't peel them because I think there's so much flavor within the skins. You know, I think in really chefy circles, you'll peel them and you'll make them all look really nice and all the rest of it. But I didn't do that. I just wanted to eat every part of it. You know, I think when your produce is in season and it's at its nutritional senate, you're losing out by not eating everything. So I've just sliced them really thin. You can do them any way you want, really. You can cube them, you can dice them up. You can do them on a mandolin, but I've just sliced them very thinly. With the rhubarb, what I did is I just, again, a tiny drizzle of oil. I put a little bit of sugar over them as well. And I put them in for about the last 10 minutes of the roasting in the same, into the same roasting tin as the beetroot. So I put them in, again, I just watched them. You want to watch them, they cook a lot quicker, so until the knife just went through them. Again, I took them out when they were done. And really, the accompaniments there are with the pumpkin seeds and with the walnuts. I toasted them in a dry pan. Just toast them until they, not too long. The pumpkin seeds start to pop. You kind of know they're done then. With the walnuts, you can kind of smell them. They start to toast, but you don't want to burn them. And I just crumbled them over. Really, really simple to assemble it. I just sliced the beetroot thin, arrange it around the plate. I then arranged the rhubarb around it as well. Probably not showing up very well there, but anyway. I then did a big dollop of that lovely creme fraiche right into the center of it. Again, that'll kind of cut through all the textures. It'll bring this like, just tie it all together, that lovely kind of creaminess of really good organic Irish creme fraiche. Scattered around the toasted walnut and the toasted pumpkin seeds. Drizzled it with some of that lovely cold pressed rapeseed oil. And then just garnished it with that beautiful apple essence. And again, if I had time, I would have used apple core. So there's my dish. Enjoy your day. Thank you.
Wow. I wish I could have, you know, like having a dialogue and say how delicious this sound and looks and everything. I'm sorry if the video quality was not necessarily the best. I really hope that everyone could at least hear Carol explaining what he was doing. And yeah, now, before we actually travel back to a bit east again, and we will feature now all of the participants dialing in from India. And we also have two of our former students and participants, Radhika and Vanchika, with us. I want them to quickly say hi before we start off with Anmol. Hi. Hello, hello. How are you? I see someone is on another line in the same time, so we get back to you later, Vanchika, don't worry. Okay, but I see that Anmol is already ready to speak, so maybe we hear him out first, and then we join back to Radhika and Vanchika to tell us what is their local host role with us. All right, so Anmol, where are you?
So I'm on my terrace right now, and as you can see, this is a small terrace I have. This is my home. I'll just show you around a little bit. That's a temple close to my home. And that's a small monument. I don't know if you can see a little bit. There's a monument there. And I'll just flip the camera a little bit. So I have Neha here, who is a chef also happens to be my wife. That's my father, Neeraj. And I have virtually Anurag, who joined in. He's a climate activist as well as a marathon runner. And we have him here as well. So I'd like Neha to first introduce herself a little bit before we begin.
So hi everybody. My name is Neha, and as Anmol said, I teach a little bit of cooking. I have a small school in Delhi called Saffron Palette. I have been teaching Indian food specifically for the last 8 years, and the last 1 year mainly virtually. And I believe in keeping everything fresh. So Anmol will probably show you some of the herbs that I have in my little terrace over here. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
And that's my father.
Yeah, I am Neeraj. I work I am a consultant for media companies, like all the TV channels. And like what she said, she has virtual classes. So I give her the virtual equipment.
Right. And we have a small little Zoe.
She's camera shy.
She's a little camera shy, I think. And we have something cooked for today. And I'll just tell you very briefly what we have. So we have here something called pulao also, but also it's basically rice with a little spices. You can see a little bit of aniseed and a little bit of cardamom mixed in it, and a little bit of cloves as well. Just quickly sort of introducing some things here. We have chana masala, also chickpeas, again cooked in a lot of Indian spices. And then we have aloo here, which is basically cumin potato or jeera aloo, as we call it in Hindi. And this is again slow cooked for some time before it's made ready. And then we have some yogurt here, which is basically again mixed with some tomatoes and cut tomatoes and onions, apart from, of course, some coriander topping and of course. And then we have some pickles here. That's a mango pickle. I know.
But your mom can make very well, right? I think we talked about that on one of the sessions.
Yeah, so that's the mango one. And this is a garlic pickle. This is again a little sort of spicy. You can see I don't know if can you see it? Yeah.
A bit to the, yes, now we can.
So so this is the sort of, it's very spicy. You can see the red color in it. And the mango one has a little bit of very mangoish sort of color as well in it. And then I'll just show you quickly, we'll quickly make something as well. We'll make a chutney. We normally have a chutney every time we kind of have our meals as well. And before that, I'll just show you quickly about the herb garden we have here. So we have some basil here. You can see that. We have some curry leaves here that we basically try and use for everything that we cook in our house. We have some lemongrass here that we use daily. And of course, we have some other sort of smaller sort of herbs and mint leaves as well.
We're going to take some mint from here to make the chutney actually. So we break out some mint from here.
Very good. Yeah. So Anurag, I hope that you also have something to eat while now watching the delicious meal that they prepared.
Yes. So we'll basically also talk to Neha, and we'll talk to others as well while we're sort of, she's sort of preparing this chutney as well. And I was talking to Neha, and we have Anurag there as well. I think we'll start with Anurag. Anurag, so you've been a runner for a long time, and you've kind of also you're a big food enthusiast. So what sort of how do you kind of ensure that there is a climate sort of mentality in everything that you do?
First of all, answering the melange of the first two questions, running and food. My habits don't go very well. That's one of the reasons, why I run so much. Still, I'm not able to lose weight. I mean, my trainer, keeps telling me the same thing, but then being in food, you can't help it, right? But second of all, I mean, talking about climate, I've done a lot of runs in the Himalayas. Like we did the Ladakh Marathon, which is supposed to be the highest marathon on the planet. It was run at 11,000 feet. And the next month, I'm doing a marathon in Himachal, which is in a village called Beet, which is the world's highest paragliding site also. We were also part of a trekking group, a few months back. I think last year nothing happened. Which goes by the motto which says every bottle picked is a tree saved. And that's kind of powerful because of the fact that people, yes, I completely agree, planting trees is very important. It really is. But in the mountains wherein the vegetation takes care of itself, right? I mean, there's nobody to look after it. We don't have gardeners there. But I think there it's more so important to make sure that the plastic remains away, from the vegetation as much as possible, because there nobody is available to clear up all the plastics, all the sewage and all such things. We've got to realize that we do go on such trips, but we leave behind a lot of trash, right? Which is evident in the fact that last year when the Himalayas got cleared, there was, I think, 11,000 kgs of plastics, which were cleared out. So I think, we just run to make sure as much awareness that we can bring forth, because I think this is something that is pretty much not prevalent among people. Traveling, yes, everybody loves, but we do not realize the fact that how much we are decomposing, or for the fact that how much we are wasting our environment, how much we are throwing it away as much as we're traveling and not traveling responsibly. I think the responsibly word is more important here than the traveling part of
it. So,
yeah,
tell us, do you
go
have something to eat as well while we are watching the Anmol and his family eating?
Sadly, I just have my cup of coffee here.
Okay.
So
yeah. So we just made the chutney as well, as you can see. So we'll be using this for our supper as well. Right.
Wow, very nice. So Anmol.
So this is a very simple chutney with
yes,
mint, cilantro, garlic, sugar, lemon juice. That's it, and just mixed in together.
Right, please.
Wow, very nice. So Anmol, just a few more words from you before we actually will show the video what Jana we prepared.
Right.
Would you mind quickly telling us about the project, what you are running? Few words,
so,
like an elevator pitch.
the project, sorry, I couldn't hear the last few words.
Your own project.
So I basically work in the mountains mostly. I work in spices and organic spices, mostly natural, pure, authentic spices. So I work with a lot of farmers in the mountains of India. It's in a region called Kumaon. And we work and grow turmeric mostly right now with these farmers. And then we are also into R&D for beverages using spices which are produced by these farmers. So we try and ensure that our spices are single estate. So what that means is people talk about single estate coffee. We've tried to ensure that the produce that we are taking is from one estate, and so that we can also focus on those group of farmers better. And that's been a challenge as well as a big vision for us to ensure that the farmers get right incomes, they get fair prices for the produce, and also ensuring that the produce reaches the masses as much as it's possible. So that's what I do. That's what I do for a living. And some of the spices which have been used in the things that you see over here are actually from those farms as well. So yeah, so you can see that some of the food has also been laid out as well. And yeah. So I was also asking Neha about, what is sustainability for her? And it's an interesting way that she looks at sustainability. Neha, would you like to share what sustainability means to you?
Yeah, so sustainability for me, of course, is trying to help and get my spices directly from the source, so from the farmers, and grinding them fresh. So I believe that making use of garam masala or any spice fresh just makes all the difference. It's fresh, it's more organic, it's better for you. Second, the thing that you saw, I try to grow. I have a terrace. I'm not able to grow vegetables here, but I try to grow as many herbs, chemical free, that I can use. And also, we do try to reuse things. So we don't want to waste anything. So whatever's left over, if there is potatoes left today, tomorrow we can stuff it and make some stuffed bread with it. So we can use it in different ways rather than wasting any food. So that's what sustainability would rather probably mean for me.
And I asked my dad what is his favorite food memory as such. And what is your favorite food memory?
Actually, my mother spoiled me. As she used to pamper me and make a lot of pickles for us. And I can't have my food without the pickle. And my favorite pickle used to be a mango pickle, the sweet mango pickle. So today also I have my food with pickles, and that's it. Yeah.
Right. So I think, yeah.
Amazing. Thank
Right.
you so
Any
much,
question?
Anmol. Please go and enjoy the delicious meal that is in front of you now. And then we go and show the video of Janavi.
Sure. Okay. Bye.
Perfect. Ciao, ciao. All right. So Janavi also had to take a very last minute trip. Thank you, Anurag, for being with us. A last minute trip. So, ciao. So she is showing us where she is right now. She was not able, unfortunately, to join live.
Hi, I'm Jahnavi Prasad, and I'm a part of the Food and Climate Shapers Digital Boot Camp for this year. I am at the moment away from my home in the hills to another hill station in India called Dharamsala, where the Dalai Lama resides. And I'm at this beautiful property called Glenmore Estate, which is run by Mr. Ajay Mankotia and his wife Kalpana Mankotia ji, and we've been invited for lunch to his place today. So I'll just quickly take you to the dining table because the lunch is laid and there's a whole range of dishes on that table. But we will discuss something which is very integral to Indian diet, which is pulses and rice. Pulses in our language is called dal and rice is called chawal. It's a very integral diet and it's very healthy for all of us. So I'm just quickly going to take you to the dining hall now.
We'll ask for it if you want.
अब आप मुझे बताइए दाल और चावल के बारे में आप इधर आप पहले
दाल भात चावल हमारी सभी इंग्लिश इंग्लिश
Pulses and lentils.
Lentils and rice have been our staple food for practically the whole of our country, India, since ages. I think, and they are both very nutritious and very filling. I mean, they help you overcome your hunger and give you the required amount of nutrition. So I think it's a very good staple diet for most, I would say 80 or 90% of us Indians.
और मासी आप बताइए उसके बारे में आप इधर आ जाओ मेरे पीछे इधर भी आ जाओ हाँ ठीक है So this is dal dal दिखाओ पास में
Lentils, what the gentleman just referred, it's known all over India as dal. And it contains proteins and all the minerals. So for vegetarians, which by and large Indians are, they tend to have dal regularly in order to make up for the protein, because they can't have eggs, they can't have non-veg.
So basically what we see here, this is dal, that's the pulse, and this is rice, as you can see. It is, as Dr. Puthari just said, that it is, pulses are very rich in protein and minerals and nutrients, but the real essence really comes out when it is mixed with millets or grains. That's when the combination of the legume and the grain sort of gets the amino acids out. Essential amino acids out, and which is very healthy for the body. It's anti-aging, it's really good for bone mass development and immunity. So that's what we are eating. Apart from the many things that you see on this table, dal and chawal is integral to every Indian home, really. And there are about 65,000 varieties of legume and pulses across India. And every home sort of cooks a different variety every day on their table. So you can imagine the variety and the kind of consumption that we have. So that's
in South India, they tend to mix it with the rice and make bread, and that's their breakfast, South Indian bread. Dosa and idli, just made of legumes as well as dal.
That's great. But in every state, lentil or dal is, consumed differently. Like in Bahar, in Himachal Pradesh, like we just love kali dal, that's black dal. That's mash, lentil is mash. And then we eat it during the auspicious days and when there's some kind of a ceremony. But in UP, it's just the opposite. Black lentil is consumed when there's some kind of a death in the family and the family is grieving. For 13 days it's been consumed. And they eat yellow dal on all the auspicious days. That's the history. I have another question. Question is, has the quality of the legume or the rice, you think, changed over the years due to climate change or due to a lot of fertilizers, chemical fertilizers?
Yes, that is very correct. It has changed considerably. The use of excessive weedicides, pesticides and sprays has affected the nutritive value of dal and the rice that we eat. And it no longer tastes as good as it used to be maybe 30, 40, 50 years ago. And the fragrance and the aroma have also disappeared, unfortunately, because of the excessive use of these chemicals. So that has had a bad effect on both the dal and the rice that most of us consume. That is correct.
But that's all to the table. But Tintin, just use the dal. You can say this is one of the another, dish made of dal.
This particular dish is called dahi vada. It's made out of a pulse which has been soaked overnight, ground, and then sort of put together in the hand, congealed really, and then deep fried, and then doused in yogurt and salt and pepper and red chilies and.
It's just like donuts, unsweetened donuts, but made of the lentils.
Yes, and it's supposed to be very healthy. So so there are different forms of dal and pulses and legumes in our country. And I think it's time now to sort of enjoy our meal. Let's all have a good day. Bye. That was the wrong camera. Oh wow, so many glitches. That looked delicious. And if I can see, Gian posted the name Dahi Vada, black lentil fritters in yogurt. Wow, this is something I would like to try, that's for sure. So meanwhile, we also have other participants from India already here with us. Vishnu, I think this is time now. Can you join us on the screen? Hi. Uh-oh. We might have some connection issues again. Vishnu, the connection is very poor.
We can see you, your smiling faces. That's amazing. So maybe you switch off the camera so we can at least hear you. Can you hear me? You are muted now. No, not really. Oh, Vishnu. You know what? Let's do the following. Why don't you send us the photos of the dish you prepared? Because I already saw so many different produce in the middle of your table. I really would like the audience to learn about them, but unfortunately we cannot hear you. All right, so while we are waiting for Vishnu to figure out how can we share her table, I think I will ask Vanchika and Radhika to join us back on screen. And let's hear what happened with them since they finished the boot camp. Vishnu, let's try again.
Sure.
Okay. Yes, it's better now. It's better now. Girls, you can stay online. It's no problem if we see more faces on the screen. So now, Vishnu, here you have the connection. What is in the middle of your table?
We have, I invited my guests for lunch because I had to start in the evening, but everyone preferred for the lunch.
Can you hold the camera a tiny bit closer to you because the microphone, we cannot hear you.
Okay, definitely.
No, maybe you turn, sorry, yes. Try it now.
It's fine now. We made a. I finished my, about my supper quickly. I made a rice, we call it as biryani, using staple millets.
Okay, so I think we heard something about millets.
Talking about that?
Yes, so Vishnu, I suggest that you face the computer while you are talking, because if you are talking to the other direction, we cannot hear you.
Okay, yeah, am I audible now?
Yes,
Is it better now?
Yes.
Okay, that's perfect. I tried to connect. I had diverse people from one from environmental law, another from food, a person having a sustainable restaurant using millets. So, and then other one from climate adaptation. So all the three, and I had two more other guests whom they left already. Uh, can I, introduce my guest as well to talk to you?
Of course,
Would
yes,
you be?
yes, go on.
Okay, 1 minute. Here I have the, restaurant person who is doing a sustainable restaurant using the millets.
Hi, Jula.
Hi.
Hi, this is Kalaniti, and I run a sustainable restaurant here in Chennai.
Great.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit more about your restaurant?
It's a very pretty small restaurant which has what to say. It's basically in the scope of millets. We think about a lot of energy and soul in it. Like we love to serve people with millets, which we are not easily doing it in India. What people think is we can eat any kind of food which gives us normal carbs, but no, it's not the right way. Millets give us more value in food. We feel so. So I asked Vishnu to try a biryani, which is normally connects people of India, but in the different way we use millets in biryani. That was really great, and I loved that food. And I didn't expect it. I gonna introduce it in my restaurant too. That was good.
Very good.
Yeah.
Nice
Like
to
I could, yeah. I love to pass on to Vishnu again. Yeah.
Okay.
So I have another guest who would also love to talk about climate. He's working on climate adaptability in ocean, recovering ocean reefs, and with the farming community, fishing farming community, he's also working. I would like to pass on to the guest.
Hi, Julia. Can you hear
Hi.
me?
Yes, yes.
How are you?
Very good. And yourself? I heard you had a amazing biryani from millets.
Yeah, she did a great job with it.
Very good.
Actually, I appreciate your boot camps and every effort you are putting through FND and the Future Food Institute, first of all.
Thank you.
It's a great thing. Our world need such projects in huge numbers in upcoming decades. So it will surely eradicate poverty and everything and related issues, I think.
We really hope so. So tell us, how are you acting towards a very similar future we are working on?
Actually, I belong to coastal engineering and sustainable fisheries community. I'm actually a climate scientist working on reef recoveries, and we are deploying artificial reefs over the Tamil Nadu, it is a southern state of India, and Andhra Pradesh, which is also another state of India. Like that, we are just now in the starting phase, and through that, we are protecting the biodiversity. That's our major project, and we are also protecting the fishing communities since sea level is rising, and we are protecting the eroding beaches using the artificial reefs also. So so I belong to that community. You are belong to food food program community. So we are all
Very impressive.
we are all working towards a common goal of good future for our generation. That's the main thing that I want to share.
Definitely. So I will keep this in mind, and through Vishnu, I will reach out to you because I think you would be a very great speaker for the next boot camp. So maybe you can be part of the Food and Climate Shaper community as well.
Yeah, sure. I would love to. I will
Amazing.
definitely. It's my pleasure.
Thank you.
I'll pass on to Vishnu, and she will carry on the next session.
Yes. Vishnu, thank you so much for bringing these very inspiring people to our climate supper.
Oh, it's my pleasure too.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Please enjoy the rest of your meal. Just one question before you head off. So we heard you ate biryani. What is in the middle of your table? What are those?
It's the dragon fruit. We moved on to the dessert part. So I have this banana, and I asked the guests' favorite fruits. Since I'm into clean food eating, I wanted to discuss about that with them. So I had a bowl of salads, and then a cake made up of banana peel, which I got idea from our session, one of our session, banana peel and then wheat flour. I have tried. I don't know. We are yet to taste this one, and then we had other mixture of fruits. This is one dragon fruit. Which is his favorite. He wanted to try this out with all of us, so we had this as well.
Amazing. Well, then please go ahead and try out your experiment with the banana peel and the cake and report back to us. If the recipe is good, please disclose it in the chat so that the others can also replicate it. Amazing.
Definitely.
Enjoy the rest of your meal.
Yeah.
Thank you, Vishnu.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
So now we have Shivani, the last participant of the current cohort from India. Hi.
Hi. Hi, Julie.
Hi,
everyone. I have like my guests already in here.
So we can kindly ask them to also turn on their camera.
Shweta, Ina, Kia, you guys can all like switch on your mic and your video now.
Hi.
Hi, welcome. So Shivani, what did you plan for your climate supper?
So unfortunately, I couldn't call people over because we have like really bad case of COVID going around here in Bombay. So I had a little theme going on where I wanted people to eat local and seasonal because I just want people to maintain body temperature and try and like not use like the air conditioner so much in like the summer, and like try to understand all about like our carbon footprint and again, like eating well, eating better is always good for us. So we had like an interesting conversation about it though, because Shweta was just like, I've been seeing fruits and vegetables all through the year, and how do I understand what is seasonal and what is local? Because I don't know. I see a spinach growing like all the time. I see like apples like all the time. So how do I know which is seasonal? So that actually got me thinking as well, because it was an interesting project to actually consider. So so I would like Shweta and Ina and Pia to like tell me a little bit, like tell you guys a little bit about their whole take on this food and climate.
Okay. Hi guys. So talking to Shivani was obviously very inspiring, and coming from a smaller town, it was very surprising for me to see the way big cities dealt with food, and you have the availability of food all the time, irrespective of whether it's a summer food or a winter food, and it gets very confusing after a point. You lose track of that sense that you normally grew up with. And so now that it's summer, I have switched to a fruit-heavy diet and more of fruit that is available in summers, which is more water-based, water retention. So that's watermelon, mashmelon, cooling fruit. And so that's what I'm having today. Right now, I have this whole bowl of grapes here, and there is a massive watermelon waiting to be cut in a bit.
Amazing. Watermelon sounds very nice now. Although here it's not summer, but I could eat a piece.
It's really real. Today is especially hot. I mean, today we really felt the heat.
Yeah.
So
amazing. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you. Also, I think Ayurveda has a lot of information and very rich knowledge that recently I just joined a course on Ayurvedic food and eating, and that has opened up my eyes to a lot of things, and why they shouldn't be or should be eaten at specific times, why you should rest after meals so that you let your body cool down and you let the digestion happen. Don't overdo the yogurt, don't overdo the milk and fruit, and don't mix things, and why you shouldn't do it. So it's interesting, and when you start attuning to that, I think the body responds and you end up being a lot healthier because of that. And definitely, I think locally sourced food makes a big impact in this, because the way, I kind of like butter and eggs, but then the way hens are, grown, and the way eggs are sourced, and the way butter is made, it just robs the food of its nutrition. So we're constantly in the search to find places where it is ethically, more compassionately, whether it's fruit or meats or dairy products or anything. Compassionate growing, ethical growing is, I think, my major concern, and what I look for when I'm going out to buy anything that might be animal sourced or animal based.
Thank you. Right. So Shweta, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing your name correctly.
Shweta's been struggling with her internet connection, and she's been going on and off all evening.
We cannot hear you. But she's not muted. For some reason, we cannot hear you.
I think Shweta has been struggling with net connection today all evening. So it's possible.
So then shall we jump to Kea until Shweta can sort out the microphone? Maybe your headphones are connected? Could that be? So if maybe that has, yeah. So Kea, do you want to go on in the meanwhile?
If you can just give me 5 minutes, my dog is just going for it outside. Oh,
That's just
okay, great.
Yes.
Love that. So I'm Kia, and
don't worry.
Okay then.
We are used to this now. Don't worry.
So yes, I'm sorry. It's really hard to focus when there's so much noise in the background. But I actually didn't and still don't know about sustainable food as much as I should or would want to. I kind of got to know about sustainability through sustainable fashion. I'm sorry. This is
Don't
chaotic.
worry. No, I completely feel you. I am actually lucky that for the last 3 hours, mine is just sleeping under the table. It's like he's praying every single time that he is just behaving.
Yeah,
So
no,
it's
people just came over and no one was expecting it, so she got a little riled up. But yeah, so I actually got into learning more about the climate and the way our actions impact the world through sustainable fashion. And it's only when I met Shivani that I was like, wait a second, there's a whole other world of sustainability out there in food. And so I think just being a fly on the wall in these conversations, just hearing Ina and Shweta talk to Shivani about like what they are doing and hearing Shivani's feedback or answering questions, it was extremely enlightening. I mean, obviously, I have a few questions of my own. Being a student, living with my parents, it's kind of hard to try and be sustainable. But I feel like I will be discussing that with Shivani. But yeah, I think it's a great initiative. I'm not eating anything right now, but I do have a lovely glass of iced coffee, even though it's almost nighttime, because that's just how we're running these days. But yeah, so thank you so much for this initiative. And thank you also, Shivani, for inviting me to this event.
So I'm very happy to hear that you have this interest to listen and be part of the dialogue. And you mentioned that sustainable fashion is something where you have a bit more like understanding or experience. Would you like to share a bit with us? I know it's also a very complex system and supply chain what is behind that. And I think it is comparable in some sense with the food system. But what do you think are what would be the first few problems what you would like to tackle if you could?
Yeah, thank you for that. So I wouldn't say I'm as deep into the sustainable fashion movement as I would like to be. For a short while, I did help a friend of mine set up one of the first digital thrift stores in where we live. So that was fun while it lasted. And then the pandemic hit and, everything kind of went out of whack. But yeah, I think just being conscious of the way you consume, which I think is something Shivani's husband Siddharth said in our smaller groups, is being more conscious of how you consume. For example, if I'm buying something from what's known as a fast fashion store, say for example H&M or Zara or whatever, instead of just wearing it for 2 months and then throwing it away, really thinking about that purchase and saying, do I really need this, or do I just want it because I'm going out for a night? And just thinking through that, I found that making a wish list is super, super helpful. If I feel like I cannot sleep without thinking about this one product, then maybe I will get it. But then I will also be sure to be very conscious of what I already have, and try to get as much wear out of it as possible. Also, I found out that with the fast fashion industry, a lot of the textiles they use aren't sourced very well and sourced very ethically. And in fact, they are produced in such a way that within 2 or 3 months of wear, they start breaking down, which forces you to go back and buy more. And so it's just like a vicious cycle at the end of the day. So yeah, definitely just conscious consumption, educating yourself about these things. There's a really good app, but it's also an online tool. It's called goodonyou.com, I think. And you can just enter whichever brand you're thinking of, say Levi's or Converse or whatever it is, for shoes, jewelry, clothing, anything. And it will give you a very detailed report of how ethical and sustainable they are in terms of the workforce, how they are sourcing the material, how they dispose of it, whether they are transparent in their labor policies and stuff like that. So I think just, finding resources like this, YouTube is beautiful. The most useful part of the internet in my life has been YouTube. But yeah, there are so many videos on sustainable fashion and sustainable clothing and how to be more conscious as a consumer. And I think I'm going to end my rant there, but thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk about it.
Thank you for sharing, Kara. And I think Shweta could dial back in. So let's try with her iPhone. We still cannot hear you. Do you have earphones in? No?
Julia, we are able to hear her.
You can hear us.
Yeah.
Okay, I think Julia is the only one who can't hear me.
Yes, now I can. Okay.
Okay, great. So hi everyone. So sorry about this.
Okay, so now I know. I actually can hear her through your microphone, Shivani. So if you could unmute yourself. Ask to unmute. Just 1 second, sorry. Shivani, can you unmute yourself?
Lost Julia's voice now.
Yes.
Is it good now?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, Shweta.
Okay, so I can't hear anyone else.
We can hear you.
We can see. You can hear. We can hear you. I can hear you. So basically, Julia and team here, Shivani actually made me join because I've just co-founded a startup called Shopportunity. It's a resale platform for new and unused goods. And basically the idea is there's so much wastage that's happening where people are, because of retail therapy, people go and shop and then they don't land up using these goods. So, one of the ways that me and my partner decided was, why don't we create a platform where people can understand, create a forum where people can start selling these items. So, it's that, they get some value back, and, it doesn't just go into some landfill. So going back to, I think, my colleague just mentioned right now, Kia was mentioning about, the exact same thing, but we've just started this startup and we're seeing really good response. And it feels so good to, see that both from the seller side and the buyer side. India is a very, it's an early market for India, but people are not really comfortable, buying stuff from other sellers. They would rather go to a shop. But this is a small way and a small contribution to getting them to at least start believing that, this is how you can get good things, you can get beautiful things. It doesn't just have to be brand new from a store. So that's something we had. But in the food, we've learned so much today. Like, India is a very warm country. Seasons are, crazy. And, how do you start? Like, I'm sitting in an air-conditioned house right now, which really puts out so much of carbon footprint, right? So one of the things is, how do you eat sustainably? One of the things I've learned, how do you eat so that you don't land up feeling hot? Your body temperature is regulated, and you can actually land up just using a regular fan or something which doesn't consume so much of electricity. So I think these are small things, but it goes a long way, and hoping to really be a part of this change.
Amazing. Congratulations for launching your project. It sounds amazing.
Thank you.
Well, Shivani, thank you for bringing all these diverse guests around your table and sharing the stories with us. So one more question. What are you eating, if you are eating anything?
Hey guys, sorry. Can I introduce myself?
Yes, sorry.
I was waiting for my turn. I'm Siddharth. I'm Shivani's husband. And in the context of this whole global warming and summer temperatures and all, I must admit that I'm the one who faces the most heat.
I don't give
and
any heat to you.
hence I'm the one who really is concerned, and I'm the one who's propagating climate change. You know, so this heat needs to reduce. Anyway, jokes aside. Just spending the last couple of months looking at Shivani and everything that she's been trying to bring about in our day-to-day lifestyle, it's got me thinking and asking a lot of questions about how I consume and what do I really want. You know? So my journey has actually been inwards, where I am kind of questioning how I contribute to the universe, and will I ever stop wanting more? So it's got me going inwards, and that has led me into reading about permaculture and embracing that that's something I want to study.
Very
and
interesting.
incorporate.
So I understand it correctly that Shivani had this amazing influence on you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that heat is actually not too bad then.
Yeah, so far so good. Yeah.
So did you also, besides learning about permaculture, did you have a chance to actually experiment or maybe go and see some projects around your area?
So right now, because of COVID, movement is pretty restricted, and it's pretty. I mean, summer heat is blazing. But I am in the process of getting in touch with farms across the country. Perhaps I'll take a PDC a little later in the year, and one way or the other, I'll get there.
Very good. I think one step at a time. I think it's great that you already started to inform yourself about it and what your actions can be. And then maybe you can join some project in your own community. Amazing.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you so much, everyone, for sharing. I really hope that I didn't leave out anyone anymore. Excuse me. It has been 2 hours and 43 minutes now being online, switching table to table. But that's not an excuse. I was really happy to have you here. And now, as our closing act, I would like to call Vanshika and Radhika back on screen and tell you that they also attended our bootcamp. So Radhika in July last year and Vanshika in November. And they have similar profiles coming from India, but I'm pretty sure that they might have had different takeaways from the bootcamp. So maybe you can introduce yourself and also what you are doing, and maybe mention that other community what you are also part of, and I leave the rest to you.
Go ahead, Radhika.
So we have all the dogs now. That was planned like this.
Okay. Hi, I'm Vanshika. I'm from India. I live in Gurgaon, which is a city near Delhi. I'm a chef, and I own a restaurant, a cafe, and in the process of opening another cafe and 2 delivery brands. So a lot of work going on right now. Yeah, I think being a chef and an owner has been a really great journey, because I can actually dictate what I want in the restaurant and what I want to serve, and I don't need to answer to anybody regarding that. The restaurant primarily focuses on ingredient-based cuisines. So we don't identify with any particular cuisine of the world. we use whatever ingredients are there seasonally and locally, and we serve what we feel like cooking. So it's a mix of dishes from all over the world. Obviously, because of COVID, we faced a lot of difficulties because it is self financed, the restaurant, and we were trying to cope up and bend our ideas and see what we can do. But the best part of that was that there were no imports, and we only could get what was local. So that even got our consumers kind of excited about, okay, this is what we have and this is what we will get in restaurants as well. And then I realized that one restaurant I felt is not enough. So we started expanding our business. So that is also one of the reasons why we're doing this, is because as much as we can spread our wings, we will have different types of cuisines and different areas where we can spread our um, thought process basically, and we'll have more places where we can source better and support as many local growers as possible. So what is happening right now.
Wow, thank you so much. You also have another project, which is called Banu Revival Project, and I really like to hear
Yes.
about this. Do you want to share a bit about it?
Yeah, so I feel culture is very important, and India is so rich in culture. And I belong to a community called Bannu Biradri. Bannu is a city in Pakistan, and my great grandparents and grandparents migrated from there during the partition. And I felt like we're kind of losing touch with our traditions and our cultures and the food that we're eating because of globalization of everything that is happening and how fast India is getting developed. So I thought, why not try to document everything that is there while we still have our grandparents around to tell us stories, and some of them still remember their food and their journey from Pakistan to India, and what they used to eat over there, and how the food has developed when they moved from a gated city to Kanpur, which is an industrial town where I'm from, and also near it's a riverbank. So how their food changed, and how they still stuck to what was local to them, but still keeping those traditions alive. So Banu Revival Project is all about keeping your traditions alive and looking back at your cultures and traditions, because those were the kind of practices that we still need to do now, and not bastardize everything. So yeah.
Amazing. Thank you, Vanchika. So
Thank you.
Radhika, tell us, where are you dialing in from and what are you doing?
Hi everyone, I'm Chef Radhika, and I'm the chef and owner of Radish Hospitality in Delhi. So I'm also a consultant chef and I have my own restaurant. I'm also a part of the Chef's Manifesto, as is Vanchika, and a part of World Chefs, where I'm also a speaker. And I founded my restaurant on the basis of sustainability. This is my second restaurant in Delhi, and the first one was more about just local seasonal food, but this is more about local seasonal food, supporting a farmer community, a zero waste restaurant, just like biodiversity, basically everything which I thought chefs could do to influence what goes on everyone else's plate. It's a very produce driven space. It's always been. We try to use really old techniques and really modern techniques as well. So we kind of, combining the old with the new, because there is so much knowledge in our culinary heritage. In fact, that I do think we really, really need to respect that and document it. And it's amazing that Vanchika is also doing that with the community. And because we have technology on our side right now, we can actually marry the two and hopefully, not just learn from the past or think of the future, but kind of have like a third way in, because I feel like with the kind of harm we ourselves have done to the planet, we do need a third way. And, that's exactly what I guess us as the climate shapers community is trying to do as well. So, yeah, that's what I work for. And by the end of it, I just think that, no matter how much we advocate for sustainability, but food basically has to be delicious. So if we can make it nutritious, delicious, and sustainable, that's just it. That's the way forward for us.
Yes, definitely. And could you please, both of you, tell us a bit about the Chef Manifesto? Paul Newnham will be joining our evening session because of the time zone differences, so he will be doing the closing act of the second session. But could you please tell us why you joined that community, what exactly the SDGs to Advocacy Hub is doing?
So I joined actually we joined at the same time, no, Vanshika?
Yeah, we joined at the same time. Yeah, a few years ago.
3 years ago is
3
when we
years
joined.
ago, yeah.
So when I saw the handbook, I was like, what is this community? They're doing exactly what I do, and I need to be part of it. And that's how I got interested in the Chef's Manifesto. Fortunately, they were in India at that point of time, and we had like a potluck lunch of sorts. And so basically, what the Chef's Manifesto is a network of chefs from across the world who work on the 8 thematic areas. So it could be zero waste, or protection of biodiversity, or investment in livelihood, and
yeah, it basically focuses on
basically
SDG
all the
2.
things which you would
hunger.
anyway do in your restaurant as a sustainable restaurant is what the Chef's Manifesto works towards. On a focus on plant-based diets is another one of them, and sustainable seafood is one of them. So it just resonated a lot with what we do. And at that point in time, I think it was just about 45 chefs or something, and now it's over 800 chefs from across 70 countries, and it's just grown exponentially. And it's a great network to actually share your ideas, kind of even brainstorm, or share recipes. It's just a really good way to connect with like-minded people and work towards the same goal.
Yeah, definitely. It's very inspiring to see so many chefs who are working towards the same goal. And if you're facing an issue and you can't solve that issue, that how do I make this particular issue and make it more sustainable, you'll have somebody on that platform to answer your questions on the WhatsApp group, or just if you just search online on the website. And I think it's a great connection. And even if you're traveling anywhere in the world, you can connect to those chefs and maybe meet them. They can show you around to a local market, and you can share some ideas, and basically learn more and more about biodiversity, and focusing on zero hunger, mostly on zero hunger and biodiversity. So yeah.
Very nice.
That's
So can you tell me if you think your consumers or your guests in your F&B outlet also knows about this manifesto? Is that something that people recognize by now? Should it be something what is recognized by the consumers as well?
The consumer, to be really honest with you, the consumer does not at this point of time care too much about sustainability. You'll find like your 3 or 4% who give a damn about it. But other than that, people come out to dine, to have a good time and eat delicious food. What you do and how you influence what they eat is up to you as a chef. Which is why I think a chef owner makes a lot of difference over just a business owner.
Vanshika, what did you want to
Yeah,
say?
I think that's what Chef's Manifesto is all about. That chefs can use their skills to make these biodiverse ingredients more palatable and make them more trending, so that the consumers get more attracted towards it. You post a lot of stories, you do videos, you do talks about it on social media, and chefs are also they've become a lot of them have become trendsetters, and which works to a great advantage because we can kind of advocate these ingredients, and there are different fashion brands and different cosmetic brands and different companies, phone companies who want to kind of associate with chefs in different ways, and you can still keep that message there in anything that you kind of do. And I think that that is something really great that I kind of picked up from Chef Manifesto, that you are a chef and this is what your skill is, and just use that to teach people more and more about being sustainable.
Yeah, very interesting that you bring up social media and the influence what you can do there, because it is definitely a communication channel what we can use for these kind of messages. But that also brings me to the question. So yes, you are chefs, and you are having already a very intense and, let's say, long working hours, right? So how do you juggle that extra role on the same time? Because let's be honest, there are other people who is professionally social media, and you are doing now both of them in the same time. So is that something what evolved along the way? Is this something what you actually have maybe support for? But how do you get that message out there? Because I think it's extremely time consuming.
It's really hard, and it consumes a lot of your time. And like Panchika said, you do get assignments now for social media, so that is an extra buck as well, which means that you have to devote extra time to it. And along with your long hours and you can't do it in a busy restaurant, you can't do it during service hours. It's really embarrassing because you're chefs, you're supposed to be back of house, you're very awkward people, so at the minute someone sees you shooting, you're like, oh my god. So it is definitely really hard, and it's just extra hours. So yeah, you'd I guess when we started cooking, we thought as chefs, our job's going to be, doing exactly that, cooking food. But it is just 100 other things right now, and you just got to deal with it. I mean, you always have the option of not being on that pedestal, but clearly none of us want to get off. So
Yeah, no, I don't think we should get off. We're just trying to pull more and more people on that pedestal, so that there are a lot more people talking about it, and not just a few people in the industry. And it is very time consuming, but you do get used to it. You get your team trained to working with zero waste and working with less plastic in the kitchen. And once your team is trained and used to that particular way of working, because chefs are very military, like they have their processes in place, and it's very like it's this is what you do. And once you have that process set in your kitchen, and then your team follows that to the T, and I think that kind of then
but
gets
the minute that starts
your
happening,
team.
you want to change the menu again, so you restart that
Yeah. That's true.
All
So
right.
yeah, it
Thank you
is
so
kind of
much.
time consuming. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Vanchika. Thank you, Radhika. Thank you, everyone who was part of the first session of the third climate supper. Now the team is taking a break. We need to get our computer running again and maybe have a meal as well. Secretly, I already had a bite in the meanwhile. But please follow the next session as well, which will start at 7:30 Central European Time in the evening. And we will dial in from Bologna, Italy, and then continue to, again, different countries, more to the global west. So, Gian, thank you so much for being here. Do you maybe have a final word before we switch off the live?
All I would like to say is that I'm amazed, excited to see my former classmates from the first cohort of the digital boot camp. Hi, Radhika. And it's amazing to see so many familiar faces, mindsets, and how everyone's working towards a common goal in some way or the other. And so much learning throughout the way. And yeah, I'm humbled and thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.